of the Rwanda Bar Association, Bâtonnier Maître Moïse Ngondabayashi. You're welcome.
A good afternoon to everyone. Mwiriwe. Bon après-midi. I will first apologize because it seems there's a good number of our members that did not keep time. And for the guests, we think it's going to keep on improving the numbers because we have them and they've registered. And, you know, in the interest of time, we decided let's start and then they will be joining us. Honorable Secretary General of Rwanda Investigation Bureau and our guest of honor, the representative of UN Women, dear council members here present, participants, all protocol observed, good afternoon again. It gives me a great pleasure to join you all this afternoon as we celebrate the 2023 edition of the International Women's Day. For the benefit of each and everyone that is here present, it's to be noted that the celebration of International Women's Day is a very significant and important event for the Bar Association that wants to promote women in as much as we can. To give you a little bit of the background, in this country that is now celebrated around the world to be the champion in promoting women lawyers, I mean women and women lawyers in particular, we used to have legislation that did not allow a woman to do business without the authorization of the husband. The same was applying when women would want to open a bank account. Women in this country nowadays are now allowed to do business and do whatever kind of work that can be done by men without any kind of discrimination. Another thing that we've seen in our legislation is the fact that women were not allowed to be among the successors in their families. This is a little bit of the background that I wanted to give so that you can understand where we are coming from. In 1997, when the Bar Association was created, we had 37 lawyers. And among the 37, 7 were women. Today, women lawyers have reached 437. This is one of the reasons why we think we should be celebrating as a Bar Association that wants to be built as an institution that do not leave anyone behind. The membership of the Bar Association obviously also has increased. We now have 1,625 lawyers. And as I did mention, above 437 are women lawyers. In the same line of ideas, some few years back, I would say like something like 6 years, we have embarked as a Bar Association to put in place a policy aiming at promoting women lawyers. Part of what we did is to put in place a gender committee that is led by a woman for the moment who is Maitre Céline Karugu. She will be speaking to you in a few minutes. Another improvement that was seen in the leadership of the Bar Association is the fact that in the governing council of the Bar Association, out of 13 members, we have 7 women lawyers. The reason why we do this is simply to tell you women can do whatever men can do. And it is possible. Another position of leadership that we have for the moment, the Dean of the Bar Association, the Dean, for those who are not familiar with our language at the Bar Association, she is considered as the Vice President of the Bar Association. She is a woman for the moment among the 7 that are in the Governing Council. Another very important position that is occupied by a woman in the Bar Association is the President of the Disciplinary Committee. She is a woman. For the moment, the Bar Association also do have one of the council members of the East African Law Society that is now the Secretary General of the East African Law Society, and she is also a woman. Why am I saying this? We cannot do anything in terms of promoting women without entrusting them with the leadership positions that we allow them to leverage and show their capabilities in terms of what they can be capable of delivering for this society. All these, they are good examples of what women can deliver and are capable of doing. It's to be reminded that the beginning, that the year, this the beginning of the International Women's Day celebration in this year, the theme is Digital Innovation and Technology for Gender Equality. For purposes of making this relevant to what lawyers do on daily basis, we have included some other aspects to do with the fighting of GBV, which is a phenomenon that is really affecting very much our society. And we have also included in the concept the role of men. What do men do to promote and to fight this GBV, but also having an attitude that is positive in as far as promoting women lawyers is concerned. So that's the reason why you've seen that our topic is kind of broader, but the speakers we have invited, I am sure they are going to give us a very good brief about it. The reason why we have chosen such a topic is because in the digital space today, we can see that the innovation and this technology that came to change our lives is not really promoting equality. It's rather becoming an area and a space where we can see so many victims, especially women's. We should therefore have a conversation around this and then even draw recommendations that are going to help us as lawyers to be able to help these victims of GBV that do sometimes even go to those networks when they don't even know what is happening. The content that is being posted on various social medias like I would say Twitter, I would say Facebook, Instagram, even WhatsApp and so on, sometimes they are not really promoting equality. And part of the women sometimes ignorantly do post content that can be actually harmful to their rights and their mental health. It's therefore important that lawyers should play a very important role in making sure that there is a campaign that is going to help the world out there to promote equality among women and men. Our society is increasingly becoming a digital one, and the above statement that I was making, I am very sure that by the time the Secretary General will be speaking, he will be telling you what they encounter in terms of victims that come to them when they are already exposed, and this will help lawyers to understand how these problems are very, very critical to our society. Let me conclude these remarks by thanking one of our major partners, Rwanda Bridges to Justice. They've really been very important partners, and we appreciate the kind of support that they offer to women lawyers, young lawyers, and even senior lawyers. And their work is very, very much appreciated. It's on this note that I welcome you all to this session that we are going to have in this afternoon, and I am sure you're going to enjoy the speakers that we have selected. And let me also take the opportunity to thank them very much for having accepted our invitation, and we look forward to continue working with you on this very important subject, which is promoting women and making sure that we do not leave anyone behind in our society. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much, the President of the Rwanda Bar Association. I'd like to recognize the presence of some people, the Secretary General of RIB, the representative of UN Women, the Deputy Director of Rwanda Bridges to Justice, of course, the President of Rwanda Bar Association, the Governing Council of Rwanda Bar Association, all the guests in attendance, all fellow lawyers, all fellow female lawyers. Thank you so much for blessing us with your presence this afternoon. Following the remarks of the President, I'd like to invite Maître Karugu Celine to give us her opening remarks. You're welcome.
Murakoze cyane munyemerere mvuge mu Kinyarwanda. Nyakubahwa SG wa RIB, Bwana Jano Ruhunga, Nyakubahwa Senior Program Officer wa Ikimundo, Madame Shamsi, Nyakubahwa uhagarariye UN Women Representative, Madame Ping, Nyakubahwa confrère Nwagaba James, Nyakubahwa Batonnier, Banyakubahwa membres du Conseil de l'Ordre Bubu na les anciens membres du Conseil de l'Ordre, bagenzi bange dusangiye umuga mwiriwe neza. Munyemerere mbanze mbasangize publication ya UN Women nasomye mu kwezi gushize kuri LinkedIn, réseau social aba professionnel b'ingero zose bahuriramo. Iyo poste yari mu Cyongereza ariko ngerageza kuyishyira mu Kinyarwanda yavugaga iti: dutekereze isi irimo uburinganire, aho abagore batazongera gutinya ihohoterwa, aho abagabo batazongera kugira ubugome, aho buri muntu wese azashobora gukoresha uburenganzira bwe, aho kudasa n'undi cyangwa kudatekereza nk'undi bwizihizizwa ntabwo bwo kubikora, aho umuntu wese azumva ari mu mwanya ukwiye muri sosiyete kandi agahabwa imbaraga zikwiye. Iyo niyo si twifuza. Mwaba muri kumwe natwe? Uwo muntu wabishyizeho niko yabazaga. Iyo poste numvise ifite message ikomeye cyane, twabitekerezaho. Mu gihe isi yose yizihizaga umunsi mpuzamahanga wahariwe umugore ku itariki 8 w'ukwezi turimo, urugaga rw'abavoka mu Rwanda rwifuje ko uwo munsi wizihizwa uyu munsi. Ku batari babizi, urugaga rwacu rubinyujije muri komisiyo ya Gender rwatangiye kwizihiza umunsi mpuzamahanga w'umugore mu kwezi kwa gatatu mu mwaka wa 2020, aho ikiganiro twagize icyo gihe kibanze kuri politiki y'igihugu yo guteza imbere umugore n'icyakorwa n'abavokati kugira ngo iyo politiki igerweho neza. Mu mwaka wakurikiyeho mu kwezi kwa gatatu nanone, guhera tariki ya 7 kugeza tariki ya 14 2021, urugaga rubinyujije nanone muri komisiyo ya Gender rwatangije icyumweru cy'ubunganizi mu mategeko, aho abavokati n'abavoka bo mu ntara zitandukanye basabwe kunganira abakobwa n'abagore batishoboye mu manza z'ihohotera rishingiye ku gitsina. Ibyo byabaye i Rubavu, Musanze na Rusizi. bitanga umusaruro mwiza. Umwaka ushize itariki 30 w'uku kwezi turimo, le 30 mars 2022, urugaga rubinyujije nanone muri komisiyo ya gender rwizihije umunsi mpuzamahanga rutumira Madame Rose Urabuhihi waje gutanga ikiganiro kuri leadership y'umugore mu Rwanda. Kuri uyu mwaka binyuze nanone muri komisiyo ya gender, Batonye yaramaze kubabwira theme iri buze kuganirwaho. Reka ngerageze kubivuga neza, uburyo ikoranabuhanga rwakwifashisha mu kurwanya ihohotera rishingiye ku gitsina n'uburyo ibi byafasha kwimakaza ihame ry'uburinganire bw'umugore n'umugabo. Ibi byose byakozwe kugira ngo contribution y'umuavocate mu Rwanda rugaragare mu iterambere y'igihugu cyacu. Mu kwezi kwa 9 mu mwaka ushize, urugaga rwacu rwemeye kuba umunyamuryango hamwe n'izindi ngaga ruzakurikiza amahame agenga ubutabera ku bagore bahohoterwa. Adhésion à la charte des principes fondamentaux sur l'accès à la justice des femmes victimes de violence. Bivuze ko urugaga rwacu rugaragara mu bikorwa by'iterambere yaba mu rwego rw'igihugu yewe no mu rwego mpuzamahanga. Ndashimira rero abatumire bacu bemeye kuza kutuganiriza kuri iyi theme Batonye yatugejejeho, nkaba mpamya nashidikanya ko turi bugire deba nziza zizatugirira akamaro kanini mu kazi kacu ka buri munsi. Nitugire twese umunsi mwiza, murakoze.
Thank you so much for your warm remarks. I'd like to take this opportunity to invite Maître Kabagambe Joel, the Deputy Representative of Rwanda Bridges to Justice.
Thank you, MC. Thank you all. I'm Kabagambe Joel, as she said. I'm one of Rwanda Bar Association member and also Rwanda Bridges to Justice Deputy Director. It's an honor for me to be here, and I want to do my remarks on behalf of our director, Maître John Bosco Bugingo, who wanted to be here, but unfortunately, he went for a meeting, an urgent meeting abroad. Dear Batonye, dear Maître Céline, President of Women Lawyers in Rwanda Bar Association, dear SG, RIB, dear representative of UN Women, Rwanda Bridges to Justice is a local NGO who work in many fields, in legal aid, capacity building, and also empowering women and young people. We call it youth empowerment. We have provided many assistance from the level of arrestation until people in a prison. Rwanda Bridges to Justice have positive outcome, and we can say that is 91% of people we help. Also, we do something we call Women's Lawyers Network. We are on our 25th mentoring session now, where we invite many women to talk with other women. We have an example here of Maître Florida, Batonye himself, and other people who can help women in their daily work. We have also developed something we call e-learning, where people can find some modules for capacity building. We train lawyers, we train also prosecutors, RIB officers, RCS officers, and others. It's our pleasure to be here as Rwanda Bridges to Justice in this important event where we celebrate International Women's Day. Thank you so much, Rwanda Bar Association, to bring in board Rwanda Bridges to Justice to work with you. Thank you so much, Batonier. Our principle is to improve capacity building for justice stakeholders so that they can work with something very important on their daily work. As conclusion, Rwanda Bridges to Justice wants to express its friendship and gratitude to be here with Rwanda Bar Association, and what we promise to Rwanda Bar Association and other stakeholders, we are always open to work with everyone, and we will try our best to help people in need. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Maître Joël. We appreciate your role in providing mentorship, capacity building, as well as bridging or creating a path to justice. I'd like now to request the Secretary General of RIP to come take us through the role of technology in fighting gender-based violence and promoting gender equality through the eyes of a criminal investigator. Thank you.
Thank you very much, moderator. Batonier, Maître Céline, kuri iyi association, abayobozi mwese muri aha ngaha mu byubahiro byanyu ndabasuhuza. Nitwa Jean Ruhunga, ndi umunyamabanga mukuru wa Rwanda Investigation Bureau. Ndagira ngo nshimire urugaga Batonier wantumiye muri iki gikorwa, muri ibi birori, na Maître Céline. For me, it's always a pleasure kuba muri forum y'abantu dusangiye umwuga, duhurira mu kazi. Iyo ndeba muri audience ndabona colleagues twiganye muri université, including Maître Céline. Ndabona abo nigishije muri NILAC, ndabona ababuranye imbere yanjye kera nkiri umucamanza. So it's really a pleasure. Ariko noneho kuba ari forum y'abadamu, I'm actually an activist wa gender balance. Iyo mvuga ibijyana na gender, I'm very emotional about it. Kuko ngewe I did not enjoy uburezi cyangwa presence ya data. So mama yarandeze, nabuze papa ndi muto. So I know the strength of a woman. And aho ngeze aha ngaha, I have no doubt ko ari uko nagize iyo education support from my mother. Sinzi iyo abari papa uko byari kugenda, wenda byari kurengaho cyangwa, ariko I'm so happy about uburere n'ukuntu yankujije. That's why I'm saying I'm always happy iyo ngize opportunity yo kubiganira, ariko no kubishyira mu bikorwa aho mbishoboye. Kuko ngewe mfata inequality, gender inequality, as a primitive way of thinking. Kuko iyo ugiye mu mateka y'isi, society zigitangira, umuntu yasurvivingaga because of physical muscles. So nicyo cyakoraga to survive. Wagombaga kurwana, wagombaga kugaragaza physical muscles. Niyo mpamvu wabonaga n'umubyeyi umugore wabyaraga abana b'abakobwa yabaga baramusendaga kugira ngo bashake imbaraga, ariko imbaraga ziri physical. So icyo kintu cyarakomeje kugeza igihe habaye intambara z'isi. Of course the intervention of status nayo organizinga society ku buryo ibintu byo buri muntu ukoresha imbaraga ze kugira ngo ubone iby'abandi bigenda bicika as the society was getting organized. Ariko noneho bigeze igihe cy'intambara y'isi, nanone za mbaraga zitwara abagabo abari bajya ku front, kuko byasabaga nyine the physical strength. So abagore aho basigaye bakora ibintu by'ibitangaza ku buryo abagabo bagarutse basanga ingo zabaye better organized, abana bameze neza. So ni naho ziriya theories za equality zatangiye, nibwo abagore batangiye kugaragaza icyo bashoboye. So uyu munsi twese turabibona ko it's about soft power. Everything is now soft. So there is no rationale yo kuvuga ngo umugabo aruta umugore cyangwa ari cyamurusha, kuko ntabwo bigisaba gukora ibintu bisaba muscles ziri physical. Ibintu byose ubu ngubu ni about ubwenge, the intelligence ni ikora ubu ngubu. So nta mpamvu nimwe ishobora kujustifyinga impamvu haba ubwo busumbane. So twebwe turi muri field ya investigations, the only challenge duhura nayo, wenda muri presentation muraza kubibona, ni mindset. Abantu bagumye bari banze kubivaho, unfortunately bagafashwa rimwe na rimwe n'abadamu cyangwa kenshi nabo bumva ko ariko bimeze, ariko bigomba guhora. So ugasanga n'umuntu ubaye victim nta nubwo amenya ko ari victim, ahubwo agafasha offender kumu victimizing, if I can say so. So sinzi niba mwashyiraho the presentation, we go through it. Next. So ndatangira quoting His Excellency the President of our Republic of Rwanda, aho avuga ngo achieving gender equality in technology and innovation is a part of the wider struggle to guarantee equal rights and opportunities for women and girls in Rwanda. Murabizi, the policy, the stand, the strategic guidance kuva kuri ECI ni gender equality, kandi bijya mu bikorwa, bishyirwa mu bikorwa, and we see the results. Iyo ureba iterambere riri mu Rwanda, there is no doubt ko hatarimo the hand cyangwa contribution y'abantu babiri mu rugo ntabwo byashoboka. Iyo urebye ingo zateye imbere ni ingo zifite umugabo n'umugore bumvikana, bubahana. Iyo bitagenze gutyo, buri umwe twazanye ashaka uburyo aduhisha, ntibashobora gushyira hamwe ngo bashake credit, bubake, biyubake, buri umwe aba ahisha undi, bikending up. Mujya mubibona mu madosiye menshi, I'm very sure muhura nayo, y'abantu icyo bapfa kenshi ni imitungo, ariko ishingiye kuri za complex zo kurutanwa, zo kuvuga ngo uri kubundi wowe waje ubisanga. So urebye kuva abadamu, abategarugori babona equal opportunities muri iki gihugu, byahinduye ibintu byinshi cyane. Twebwe duhura n'ibibazo muri society, ari iby'abana, ari iby'amago. Iyo urebye urugo rufite umudamu winjiza income, biragoye kugira ngo rugire mu mwana urwaye bwaki. ariko umugabo ashobora kuba abona amafaranga menshi, impact ukayishaka mu rugo ukayibura, aho ugasanga yakijije utubari twose dukikije muri quartier. Ariko umudamu niyo agiye mu kabari, ariko biragoye kugira ngo umwana yicwe n'inzara, umudamu hari ikintu yinjije. So impact kuri ku bana mu rugo ihita igaragara. Ibyo rero biri mu bintu byatumye u Rwanda uyu munsi rugera aho rugeze in terms of imibereho n'ibindi byose. Ntabwo kugeza uyu munsi twari twabona ikintu kigaragaza ko promoting women bishobora kuba hari ikintu byadindije igihugu compared to other countries aho babakandamiza, nta na kimwe, ku buryo abantu bashobora kuvuga ngo wenda twibeshye inzira. So ibyo rero ni ibintu abantu bakwiriye kubumbatira, kandi mwebwe nka lawyers, nk'abantu mujijutse, mukwiriye kubigiramo uruhare rukomeye cyane. Of course nta kintu kitagira inzitizi, kubera gutinda kubyumva bamwe hari igihe bigeraho bigatera za complex ziganisha kuri crime. Nabyo biragaragara rimwe na rimwe, aho umugabo ashaka kugurisha itungo, umugore ati ntabwo warigurisha, undi ati ndarigurisha, undi ati ndajya kukurega, undi ati ndarigurisha uriho cyangwa utariho, akaba n'igihe amwishe kubera ihene yanze kwagurisha. Ariko ibyo nta change itagira ingaruka. Ibyo ni ibintu bizagenda with time abantu babimenyera. Ni nayo mpamvu hari ubutabera, abantu bazagira bamenye ko amategeko hari ibyo agena. Next. So murabibona nyine ko isaha igeze, it's about IT, ibintu byose biri driven na IT. Ifite ibyiza byinshi yatuzaniye, ikagira n'ibibi byinshi bigendana nabyo, ariko ibyiza of course nibyo byinshi. So uko rero isi igenda ihinduka digital, niko umugore, umutegarugori aba competitive, kuko bidasaba morphology ifite uko imeze, physical appearance, cyangwa ntabwo igifite agaciro. Byose ubu ni soft, ni mu mutwe, kandi nta muntu ura demonstratinga ko mu mutwe gender itarifite the same, badafite capacity zimwe. So nukuvuga rero ngo iyi si yabaye iri kugenda iba digitalized, iraha opportunities nyinshi umudamu kwi-exprima, kuba competitive, gutanga message. Iyo abantu bagiye kuri space ntabwo murwana mukirana, it's about ideas. So icyo gihe nta unbalance birimo. Muri iyi minsi any topic iri muri society hano mu Rwanda, abantu bahita creating a spaces, usanga abadamu ari bazidominating. At least ngezo njya mbona wenda nuko ziba ziri inyinshi njyaho nizigendanye n'ubutabera, aho usanga abadamu ari bazidominating, and the ideas zigenda ziba more convincing kurusha sometimes abagabo baba interveninga. Nushatse kuzanamo agatuza k'ubugabo ugasanga umushyize mu mwanya we. So go to next. Just to give you an idea ya ibyaha biri gender based violence na cyber, muri 2022 yonyine twakiriye cases complaints 15 harimo 7,259 ziri cyber related. Just to give you an idea yaho y'uburyo ibi byaha technology nawe yagiye ibiha platform cyangwa facilitating the suspects kubikora mu buryo bworoshye. Ariko it's not only about GBV, no muri economic crimes naho nuko, so it's a part of the development ya IT, facilitating criminals to operate batabaye detected easily. Next. So modus operandi ya suspects bakora ibyaha, they recruit, they harass, they do online live streaming sex, bakagurisha, they do all these things, blackmailing, ibintu batashobora gukora wenda physically. Technology yarabyoroheje. Sorry. Next. So these are some examples y'ibyaha bikorwa. This case actually is still under investigations. I just brought it for your information. Ariko yaratrendinze cyane kuri social media recently. Aho umusore urangije kaminuza yagize gutya afite more than 25,000 followers akubitaho iki ngiki. So abantu they reacted differently, bamwe baramusupportinga, abandi babigira urwenya, abandi babigiramo fun, but this is a way of inciting people to commit crime. So twaramufashe, of course iriya ntama y'Imana siryo zina rye, we got him, tumupimye dusanga afite he's a drug consumer, so he's under investigation. Just ni example nagira ngo mbahe, ari niriya yo hirya, he's the same guy. Yabonye 26,000 followers kubera guposting ibintu nk'ibi, ibintu biri aho ngaho biri. So ingi ni all sort of posting zica online, attracting abantu to go into biriya byaha. Unfortunately usanga n'abadamu babirimo cyane kandi they use their body, their uko bateye kugira ngo babikuremo amafaranga, which is very unfortunate. Hari nabo dufata tubita victims, ariko bakubwira ati no, ngiye niyo lifestyle yanjye nashaka amafaranga. So ugasanga wundi organizing to do this aba amafaranga, ntabwo bamufata nka suspect. For them ni umuntu ushaka kubateza imbere. Rimwe na rimwe go to the next. There's one time we paraded ladies abangaba, twasanze nabo bari ahantu hari umugabo ubakoresha porno and akora live streaming film, abantu bakishyura. When we arrested them, twumva tugomba gutanga a message ku rubyiruko ko biri criminal, ko bakwiriye kubyirinda, ko bakwiye kubaha umubiri wabo. Ariko we got a feedback itari nziza at all, kandi mu badamu no twabwira okay, mutubwira aho muhagaze. You want to encourage abategarugori n'abari gukoresha umubiri wabo kuri ibi bintu, ngo n'uburenganzira bwabo. Ariko ntabwo wakoresha uko Imana yakuremye kugira ngo abantu bako-exploiting for very little money. Uba exploiting ni ubona amafaranga menshi. So this was meant to give a message ku rubyiruko ko bagomba kwiyubaha, bakubaha umubiri wabo, ntibemere ko abantu bakoresha. But kubera mindset na activism sometimes usanga iri iri misplaced. Abarengera uburenganzira bw'abagore nibo batwatatse kurusha abandi bose. Twababwira mutubwiye none icyo mushaka, tubareke bazajye bagenda bigurishe babacuruze ngo nongo ntitwagomba kuba paradinga. But our intention was not to expose them, but kugira ngo tuditaringe, tutange na lesson ku bandi babitinye babiveho. Ariko we are used to that. Tugendeye ku byo public ivuga n'akazi kacu ntitwagakora. So ibi ni bimwe mukobwa ajya hariya akitaka akagira gute. I had a debate with one lady. Nawe wigeze ku postinga yambaye ubusa. I called her. Yari afite background igoye, yabaye mayibobo, aragira yaciye mu bintu byinshi. So I wanted to discuss with her, ngire an idea y'impamvu. Of course we are challenging kuko basohoye amafoto mu gihe ye bayakuye kuri Instagram. So araza ndamubaza kuki upostinga ibintu wambaye ubusa. Arambwira ati se ngewe mfite Instagram account yanjye, kugira ngo ubone ibyo na postinze ugomba kumfollowing. Utashaka kubibona abaza gukora iki? Ahubwo kuki mudakurikirana wa wundi wabifashe akabishyira muri public domain. Of course where yafashe umurongo, it was even difficult to convince her otherwise. Ariko agira n'ahantu aravuga atarega mwebwe ati ikibazo cyanyu namwe muri selective. Ati umuntu ukina basket cyangwa football ntakoresha igice cy'umubiri akabona ubuzima bwe, agakinisha ukuguru kwe, akabona amafaranga. Ati ngiye niba nkoresheje umubiri wanjye ikindi gice kuki mbizira. Urumva we of course yari afashe umurongo, you couldn't. Ariko of course mwereka amategeko, mwereka limitations, mwereka aho yagarukira. Ariko nakambwira ati worewe ati ibyo mubuza kwambara ubusa, ati hasi harapfutse, amabere harapfutse, ati umuhungu uzagenda akambara ikariso akifotora muzamufata. Ati ko birirwa bambaye ibituza biri hanze ko mutabafata. So ni ikintu kigoye gufatira umurongo. Ariko it is becoming, usanga ibingibi iyo bikorwa n'umuntu biba bigaragaza ko atubaha umubiri we. Iyo agenda agafotora umubiri we kugira ngo abone amafaranga, iki abantu bose barwanira gender equality bakuri kuba bakirwanya. To use your body ranga kubera kuziko bya attracting audience cyangwa n'abantu mu bucuruzi. Next. Iyi ni ya kuri next mutaza kundega gukwirakwiza amashusho y'urukozasoni. Those are some of the pictures twagiye tubasangana ba posting online kugira ngo babone viewers. So abangaba nabo duherutse kubafata. A group of 20 ladies and boys in different houses, hari umuntu w'umucuruzi exploiting them. Bamaze nk'ukwezi buri turu bakoze buri muntu bakamuha 50. So bo kuri bo bari barafatishije, bamwe bareka n'amashuri bajya hariya. Next. So ibyo ni just a sample naberetse ya ziriya crimes zikorwa using IT. Natwe kugira ngo duhangane nabyo, we have modern cyber tools. Dufite call center ituma tubona amakuru from victims, from witnesses, from whoever ushaka gutanga amakuru. He can call kuri nimero itishyura, ashobora no kutavuga izina rye, and we investigate from the information got from the call center. Dufite Cyber Fusion and Tracking Center. Iyi ngiyi hari imwe igiye kuba launched ya region, nayo iri well equipped na cyber tools. Dufite Cyber Center n'ubundi isanzwe ikora, ishobora kujya gukurikira crimes ziri ku isi. Sometimes ushobora gusanga umuntu ari US arimo gukorera icyaha hano, cyane cyane when it comes to minors. Icyo gihe we can liaise with aho gikorerwa, bakaduha the information kuri victim hano. Hari abo dusanga yarabigiyemo atazi ibyo ari byo, akabona umuntu kuri Facebook akamwitayisinga muri relationship. Ariko ibihugu byinshi bimaze kudevelopinga capacity yo kudetectinga wherever these crimes are being committed online. So hari associations duhuriramo n'ibindi bihugu where when you detect of course we train investigate n'ibindi bihugu dukorana to train in muri ibi bya online exploitation, especially child exploitation. Ubu iyo tuvuga child exploitation, I'm not talking about ladies gusa. Ubu n'abahungu basigaye baba exploited. Actually nahanga mu gihugu ubu ngubu we have cases, many cases. Uko dukora campaign niko abacecegaga bari bazi ko bitavugwa cyangwa bitananwa, batangiye ku bakona n'abana b'abahungu nabo bagenda bahohoterwa. Next. Ibi nyine, our mandate is to prevent, to detect and investigate. So when it comes to prevention, IT iradufasha. Kuko iyo weje message kuri Twitter cyangwa kuri website cyangwa ku radio, abantu ibageraho vuba, and it birafasha ku educatinga, to disseminate messages zo kugira ngo icyaha kidakorwa. We monitor ibyo nabwiraga online crimes. Then we can also identify victims na suspects. Kuko victims benshi arigiye aceceka rwose akagira, iyo tumubonye rimwe na rimwe turahenda kemera agatanga ikirego cya cooperatinga ubundi bakanga. Next. Ibi byose ni tools dufite zo kuhangana n'ibi byaha, thanks to the IT solutions zigenda nazo zi multiplying. Next. Challenges. Anga hari naho dukeneye amaboko yanyu. Ikintu cya mindset nakivuze, hari ibintu bibiri. Hari ukwanga kuvuga kugira ngo udaseba muri society cyangwa utaba harassed by your peers, family n'abandi. Ariko hari no kumva ko ntacyo bigutwaye kuba exploited kubera the interest you have in going in selling your agenda. Sinzi ko nabyita. Umuntu akumva ari proud kugurisha icyari cyo. Ibi rero byagiye mu minds z'abantu ku buryo kubibakura mu tubona muri defilement, aho tubona aho abantu banze guplayinga iyo position yo kuba yaba competitive, yakwiyemera, yagira confidence ko atari an object. Complicity iyo ngiriho kubera ko nk'ubu ngubu cases za defilement investigating inyinshi 80 or 90% baza kurega ari uko habaye ikibazo kindi. Ni kuvuga ngo uwamudifayirinze hari ibyo yamwemereye atamuhaye, cyangwa yamuteye inda aramwihakana, cyangwa yamufuhiye, nuko nguko baza gutanga ikirego. Ariko nyuma y'igikorwa cya defilement ni bakeya yumva ko yakorewe icyaha ngo aze kurega. Aza kubikora nyuma y'amezi nk'icyenda cyangwa amezi 3 wenda yamenye ko yatwaye inda kandi uwayimuteye yanze kumufasha. So bigadutera ikibazo cyo kubona ibimenyetso. Ariko kubera imbaraga tubishyiramo hari n'igihe, and I know you always challenge nk'abavoka, hari igihe tugendera ku byo Mayina yavuze. Umwana w'imyaka 15 ati kana kamfashe ku ngufu, atariko yanteye ubwo yarambwiye ngo nimbivuga azanyica. Ukamureba ukavuga uti uyu mwana ibyo ari byose ntabwo yamuhimbiye, ntacyo bapfa ntaki, ariko you have no other evidence. Ntushobora kujya kumupimisha niba atamuteye inda, niba yanayimuteye uzategeza ko abyara, hagati aho ngaho bazabanye bate. So we challenging. Abandi hari igihe ababyeyi bo babibona noneho bakintervening, bakadusaba bati rwose turabizi wamuteye inda n'uyu nguyu. Wareba muri communication wabona circumstances zose zikakwereka ko uwo muntu koko yadifarinze uwo mwana, ukamufata. Do you know what happens? What we are victim. Of course turamufata tukamujyana muri Sange psychologist, tukamukansoringa, akavuga ati ni mutarekura uriya muhungu ngende yahura. Akanga kurya, akanga kuvuga, ati uriya muhungu muraramuka mumufunze, ngewe ubuzima bwanjye burarangira ahangaha. So as an investigator uravuga uti ndashaka gutanga ubutabera. Uyu mwana yiyahuye, ubwo naba mpaye n'ubutabera. So ukajya muri iyo dilemma. Ariko byose ni ibyo nyine, nuko umwana ntaba yumva ko yakoreye icyaha. Ariko hari naho bigera noneho hari debate hari ku mategeko ya ahana umuntu wateye umwana inda yarangiza bakabana nk'umugabo n'umugore. There are scenarios aho usanga umwana w'imyaka 20 ateye inda umwana w'imyaka 17 barabanye, babyaye nk'abana wa mbere wa kabiri, bagiye gushaka inkingo, bageze kwa muganga bati ufite imyaka ingahe, uyu wamubyaye ufite ingahe. Akaba igihe baduhamagara bati hano hari Mayina wabyaye ubana no. So ugafata umugabo akabasiza abana 2, niwo wazanaga amafaranga mu rugo. Ugasanga yaba family ya victim, family ya suspect, bose barateye bati n'uyu mukobwa nawe ni mutwaye n'abana be ntidushoboye kumarera. So harimo izo challenges, ariko byose nuko society isa nkaho itarabyumva ko ari ikibazo. So umubyeyi uramubaza uti umwana we bamufashe bamuteye inda afite 16, atsengeye ko namubyeyi mfite 15, urabona atarakuze. So ugasanga haracyari ikibazo cya culture, cya mindset, abantu bakeneye gushyira imbaraga nyinshi. So cooperation, when it comes to cooperation, nabyo bizamo politics, bizamo diplomatic. Ari igihugu mwumvikana they cooperate, ari igihugu mudafitanye umwana mwiza they don't. Umuntu ashaka kwiba abana hano akajya mu gihugu azi ko dufitanye ikibazo, you can't even there gusaba ko babagarura cyangwa bamushyira mu butabera. Lucrative nature nibya nababwiye, ibi byaha bya sexual online whatever exploitation biba amafaranga menshi ku buryo na victim most of the time abijyamo abizi kandi abyinjoying, kubera ko wenda abona ari opportunity yo kubona imibereho. Of course globalization ubu ngubu ntabwo ukeneye gukora iki cyaha wahuye n'umuntu physically, ujya online bakabigushyira ku isahani and you pay. Kandi kugira ngo uzajye kubikora investigations, uzagere kuri suspects, ni ibintu bigoye ko biri open. Umuntu aba bikorera Singapore, undi ari Canada, undi ari ahangaha harimo kujoyinga online nyina abireba. So these are the challenges. Next. So strategies na opportunities dufite nuko, one, our government is so supportive kuri gender equality. Hari amategeko menshi, we have provisions zidufasha to deal with the crime. Ntabwo twavuga rwose ngo nta bihano nta mategeko. Izo instruments zirahari, challenges ziri ahandi. Now the instruments, the political will is there. Next. So ini ya call center nababwiraga, tuba tureba the situation mu gihugu gutya, where they report uko bizamuka uko bimanuka. There are people waiting for the phone calls 24 hours. Dufite nimero nkenye zose zakira amakuru and complaints. Next. So nibyo fusion center ngiyo aho bashaka they have the picture of isi yose what is happening, and we can exchange with others muri byo. So ini a new cyber center, regional cyber center of excellence, tuzataha vuba, nayo iri well equipped. Abanga mubona niba mubona nta gender equality irimo ntabwo ari ribu muri ribu turabafite benshi muri cyber. Aba ni abaterankunga bamwe, they took part mu kuyubaka no kuyisupportinga. Next. Okay, ngira ngo narondogoye ariko I warned you. Na nabwiye ko mba emotional when I talk about this topic. So mwakoze for your attention. It's an afternoon Friday ariko nta muntu mbona muri sale wigeze adozinga, which is ubona kuvuga ko namwe bitari babihe cyane. Murakoze.
Thank you so much, SG, for RIB. Thank you for sharing just an ounce of what RIB goes through as you investigate such crimes. Aravuze ati gender inequality where I wanna ngaho, it's a primitive way of thinking, and I could not agree more. At this point, we've come close to, I think, the second most interesting part of this afternoon, which is our panel. I would like to invite Maître Florida to introduce the topic for today as well as the panelists, and she will also take us through the conversation. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Angel. Mwiriwe mwese. May I invite the panelists please to join me? Uyu munsi kuko turi abadamu benshi cyane, turahera ku mugabo kugira ngo atumva ko nawe ataza gutangira gushaka uburenganzira. Advocate Mwagaba James, would you please join us? And then Miss Pearl Karunji, and of course Shamsi Kazimbaya. Please, can you come and join us? Barimo baza, nifuza gushimira abantu bo muri gender yindi itariyo turimo tuvuga uyu munsi bari hano, cyane cyane yuko abenshi mu by'ukuri they are allies Mr. SG RIB SG turashaka kubashimira kubera ubutumwa bwiza mwaduhaye butugaragariza yuko tutagomba kuguma mu bwigunge ko turi weak. Je mu byukuri nago njya mbyemera cyane kuko nibaza yuko turi abantu bashoboye, turi ababyeyi, nitwe turera bano bagabo bana b'abahungu bahindukamwe abagabo. Turushatse tugafatanya amateka twayahindura. Kandi kuba dufite abagabo badushyigikiye nabyo mu byukuri biradutera imbaraga zo gukora kurusha. So pano y'uyu munsi, I would like to invite you, uwifuza kuvuga mu Kinyarwanda, please go ahead. Uwifuza kuvuga mu Gifaransa, avuge mu Gifaransa, ariko cyane cyane ko twese twumvikana mu Kinyarwanda, byaba na byiza abantu bavuze mu Kinyarwanda ubishoboye. Kugira ngo nintroducing pano nkuko nari navuze, ndahera kuri Bwana James kugira ngo yumve ko nawe yisanga muri twebwe. Advocate James kandi nawe ni umwavoka nkatwe. Ni umuconsultant ukorera UN Women ubu ngubu. Yakoze muri Minafet nka legal officer, yakoreye Minijust nawe legal person, yakoreye appeal court, yabaye nka prosecutor muri court of appeal, akaba ari consultant muri GBV. Ngira ngo abantu iyo bumvise GBV baba bumva ko ari ibintu by'abadamu. Ariko nawe ni supporter w'abadamu. Yabaye senior consultant attorney muri International Justice Mission, aho bakoraga gahunda zo protecting women and children against abuse. Atanga trainings nyinshi cyane kuri police no kuri RIB, akanakorera izo nzego muri consultation ku bintu bijyanye na GBV. Hanyuma yabaye na consultant for GMO muri GBV responses mu nkiko no mu bushinjacyaha, kandi no muri baro aradufasha kudutraininga nabyo mu bintu bijyanye na gender based violence no kuntu abantu bayirwanya. Welcome Mr. James. Mwagabo. Kuri pano nanone dufite Madame Shamsi Kazimbaya, ukorera organization NGO yitwa Ekimundo, iri international NGO mu Rwanda. Shamsi has worked with the Rwandan government and government institutions in various positions before joining the non-government organizations in 2006. Before joining Ekimundo, Shamsi worked respectively with the Society for Women and AIDS in Africa as the executive secretary for the Rwandan chapter, coordinating projects providing care and support to people affected by HIV and AIDS. With the Rwanda Men's Resource Center, Ario Ramrek Murimache, where she coordinated Men Care Plus, a program developed from the tenets of the Men Care campaign that was a 3-year, 4-country collaboration between Ekimundo, icyo gihe bayitaga Promundo US, and Rutgers, created to engage men as partners in maternal, newborn and child health and in sexual and reproductive health and rights. Hanyuma nanone yakoreye ikigo cyitwa JHPEGO, ari affiliate of John Hopkins University, muri position ya Gender Advisor for the Maternal and Child Survivor Program. Welcome, Shamsi. Last but not least, we have Pearl Karunji, who is yet to join us from UN Women Rwanda. She's the Communication and Knowledge Management Officer, and she's in charge of the Innovation and Tech Portfolio at the UN Women Rwanda Country Office, at your UN entity for gender equality and women's empowerment. Welcome, Pearl. Uyu munsi rero topic turimo tuganiraho yitwa Innovation, Technology and the Role of Men and Women in Fighting GBV. Nkuko Batoniye n'abandi bavuze, turareba technology muri uyu mwaka. Uyu mwaka the topic for International Women's Day is digital equality, bijyanye na gender. So duhereye kuri Madame Shamsi, wenda kubera akorera Ekimundo, yadusobanurira ibintu bijyanye na gender, abagabo role yabo muri equality n'ibijyanye na tech na technology ni ibihe. Thank you.
Murakoze, mwiriwe. nagira ngo mbanze shimire Rwanda Bar Association by'umwihariko Maître Céline kuba mwarantumiye muri event uyu munsi. Aba nishimiye kuba ndahangaha kugira ngo nshobore gupartage experience yanjye nk'umukozi wa Ikimundo, ariko nanone nkanjye nka Shamsi nk'umunyarwandakazi wakoreye mu Rwanda kuva imyaka myinshi muri iyi field ya gender, ariko kuva imyaka 10 ishize cyane cyane focusinga gukorana n'abagabo n'abahungu for gender equality. Mbere yo gutangira ngira ngo mbazishimira nanone SG wa RIB, ngira ngo yatuvugiye byose byo tukagomba kuvuga, ntabwo byari kurondogora, ngira ngo the way is passionate about the subject, natwe tuyumvaga, natwe twagendeye muri icyo kiganiro cyari cyiza cyane. Ako mu byo yavuze ikintu nashaka guheraho ngira ngo nzeri kucyubakira mu byo turi buganireho, avuga how much is passionate about the topic. Ako nagira avuga ni iyo tuvuga gender equality cyangwa ibintu byose bijyanye na gender based violence, keretse umuntu atari umuntu, a human being, kuko tubivuga ni ibintu bikora kuri buri wese nk'umuntu. So obviously it becomes really buri wese ubundi uri muzima, umugabo n'umugore akagombye kuba passionate and compassionate about it iyo tuvuga ibibazo bya gender equality. Ikindi nashaka kuvuga hano nanone ngo yatangiye avuga experience personnelle, ngira ngo it matters a lot muri field dukoramo muri les relations humaines, ko cyane cyane muri gender equality na GBV. Burya nk'uko bavuga mu Gifaransa, on donne pas ce qu'on n'a pas. Experience personnelle zacu twese abagore n'abagabo, twabishaka tutabishaka, byafekta uburyo tudilinga n'izi issues muri field zacu zitandukanye, cyane cyane muri iyi ngiyi, byaba mu bijyanye n'amategeko, byaba mu kudilingana issues za gender based violence. Hari ababikora bari conscient ko babikora, ako ahanini tubikora tutabizi. Ako kwa kundi twabayeho, kwa kundi twarezwe, kwa kundi biratuafekta mu gutanga service dutanga cyangwa mu kudilingana ibyo tudilinga nabyo. Ndagaruka kuri ya example SG yavuze ijyanye n'ukuntu yarezwe n'umubyeyi w'umumama. So niko yabivuze, we afite courage kubivuga, arabitekerezaho. Ako natwe twese bikurikijwe twakuze twarezwe na bamama na bapapa cyangwa abatabafite bari biologique n'abandi, you know, any kind of, you know, father figure or mother figure, biratuafekta mu byo dukora buri munsi. So icyo dakizana cyane cyane muri field yanyu nk'abantu bakora mu bijyanye n'amategeko, ibyo tubona nanjye par experience birangiye mbona ni nawe biri bugaruke yenda ku kibazo kindi kiri buze nyuma bijyanye na collaboration y'aba stakeholders na campaigns zavuzwe. Ngira ngo nk'aba lawyers mufite uruhare rukomeye cyane, lawyers muri rusange, ako lawyers b'abagabo noneho mu kazi mukora kugira ngo mube key players muri advocacy byavuzwe byose ahangaha, kuko ni mwebwe muhura n'aba victim turimo turavuga ahanini. Encore une fois ngira ngo ifo tuvuga ibintu uko biri. Iyo tuvuga GBV suko tugiye kwakwiza abagabo, ako turabizi yuko mu buryo rwa rusange perpetrators muri rusange n'abagabo, victims muri rusange n'abagore n'abakobwa. Nubwo bwose nkuko byavuzwe kandi tubizi hari abagabo n'abahungu nabo bari victim ba violence basée sur le genre. Ako ndi bugarikeho cyane ahangaha ngira ngo nakyo yarangirijeho Janone kijyana na mindset na culture na tradition. Naho ndi bihurize yenda na experience yanjye na Ikimundo na Romrek mbere ngikora ahangaha mu Rwanda, vuga ngo sinzi muri ya langage vulgaire peut-être niho ruzingiye culture tradition, bya bindi byose byagarutswe bigarukaho ntari bugarukeho. Akaba ari nako kazi noneho twatangiye gukora kuva imyaka 15-20 years irangiye, aho tugerageza noneho kwingejiga abagabo n'abahungu for gender equality and fighting against gender based violence. So ngiye mbere ko navuga ku bijyanye na technology na digital, duhere muri buryo traditionnel d'abord byo kugerageza ku raising awareness no gukora sensibilisation no gutransforma za normes négatives when it comes to gender equality. So negative norms about, you know, negative masculinities, hari terms zigazi koreshwa, you know, promoting positive masculinities, twe turarabyagura twabyita to promote healthy masculinities iyo bigeze kuri gender based violence. No kurenga non seulement violence sexuelle, ako byanavuze iyo tuvuga GBV harimo na violence économique, harimo n'ibindi byose. Aho ndi buhere noneho niya za normes traditionnelles zitari navuga ko ziri unhealthy ku buzima bw'abagore n'abakobwa ndetse n'abagabo bwabo. Nakazi dukora no kugerageza kuingejinga abagabo. Mpere kuri ya ndavuze biri traditionnel, nakazi twagerageje gukora hano mu Rwanda n'ahandi ku isi tugenda dukora nka Ikimundo, aho step ya mbere ari kubanza kuzana abagabo n'abahungu kubanza kumva ikibazo. Kera ngo nacyo cyavuzwa ahangaha. Hari gukora ibintu abantu batari conscient n'ibyo barimo barakora. batari conscient na impact bibafiteho cyangwa bifite ku bandi. So niko kazi tugerageza gukora, kubanza kwicara no gufata umwanya n'abagabo, kubanza gutekereza ese ubundi ikibazo kiri hehe. Kuri buri munsi turavuga ko dufite ikibazo cya violence basée sur le genre, nibyo koko ni ikibazo, ariko ntabwo ari buri wese ushaka kwicara nko mwicaye ahangaha mukora event nk'iyi ngiyi ngo gitekerezweho abo banarebe ni gute bashobora kugikemura. So niyo duhera kwicara n'abagabo, kubanza kubafasha, évidemment hari approche na stratégie zikoreshwa, kubanza gutekerezaho nk'abagabo kuri izo normes sociales ziri inéquitable kuri genre, zijyanisha zilidinga kuri gender based violence. So ikintu ndibuvuge rero ndi bunagarukeho kenshi ari nacyo tunagaruka urebye hano avuga hari uruzingiye, it all about powers and privileges abagabo bafite. Ni naho ndi bujyanishe none muri role y'abagabo muri technology na digital. Ukuntu societe zacu zimeze, ndavuga societe y'u Rwanda ariko n'izindi nyinshi muri Afrika n'ahandi, ziri so patriarchal, niko ziteye, niko zubatse societe zacu. Umuhungu akura bamwereka c'est que un vrai homme, kugira ngo uzabe umugabo mwiza, umugabo muzima, ugomba kuba provider, ugomba kuba ibigango, ngira ngo nibyo twavugaga mu kanya, ugomba kuvuga rikijyana, ugomba. So majargo yacu tubyigisha tubita the man box. So umwana akivuga umuhungu cyangwa umukobwa bamushyira muri box ye. Dufite the man box, dufite the woman box. Umwana w'umukobwa deja akura muri ya box ye, umuhungu nawe ari muri box ye. Ariko a la longue bitangira mu rugo muri famille, yatangira gusohoka akajya ku baturanyi, still the same man box and same woman box, bikabira renforcer muri famille, yagera ku ishuri nuko nguko, yakomeza ko abaye mu adult no mu kazi, so bikakomeza bikamuherekeza cyangwa bikamushapinga, you know, as a real man, yitwa real man actually. So ndavuga mu buryo péjoratif, but a real man finalement c'est quoi? Finalement c'est l'homme wa wundi évidemment ukoresha za kwa kundi bamwigishije kwa ko bataf, kwa the provider, kwa ABCD, ugasanga na violence iri accepté ko nibyo tubona buri munsi. So kugira ngo agaragaze ko ari umugabo tute accepté. Urumva hari recherche nyinshi twakoze ngaha mu Rwanda n'ahandi zigaragaza yuko it's okay for a man to beat a woman kubera ko yashirije ibiryo. Dufite na recherche twakoze ngaha mu Rwanda, twabaje abagabo benshi à plus de 70%, tubabaza abagore n'abagabo, est-ce que you know, is it acceptable for a man to beat a woman or her wife kubera ko yashirije ibiryo? Abagabo à plus de 60% barabyemeye n'abagore ubwabo barabyemeye. So gira ngo nibyo batubwiraga mu kanya. So it not only ikibazo cy'abagabo, ako natwe abagore turarenforcer za norme inéquitable du genre, kuko usanga natwe abagore ko nitwe akenshi tuba turi kumwe n'ababana hahandi mu rugo, ntabwo natwe ubwacu dufite capacité cyangwa se natwe ya mindset, nitwe ubwacu tugenda turenforcer za norme. So ndaza kuvuga kuri example y'u Rwanda, ngaruka kuri program twagerageje gukora kandi tubona successful, kandi twinifuza yuko yaba scaled up, twarabitangiye by the way avec ministère ya santé na ministère ya genre, aho tusanga yuko za norme koko ukoresha uburyo bwiza bishoboka. Aho kindi kintu bugarukeho hanga ni kijyanye n'uburyo bwo engaging abagabo, kuko uko biri kose twabyanga cyangwa twabyemera, ntabwo dushobora kuri gender equality, ntabwo dushobora kugera kuri successful, you know, result mu bijyanye no gufighting against GBV abagabo bataje on board. You know, ni umugore n'umugabo niyo tuvuga gender equality. None twagaruka handi navuze kuri powers na privileges, abagabo bafite nidushaka tubyemere. Kugeza ubu ngubu bafite imbaraga nyinshi cyane, le pouvoir financier, le pouvoir ya prise de décision, le pouvoir zose mwavuga, bafite privilege nyinshi cyane bahawe na société. Izo pouvoir na privilege rero abagabo bemeye muri sensibilisation no guhindura mindset bakabikoresha neza, niyo solution irambiye yaboneka kugira ngo dushobore kufightinga against gender based violence. So ibyo biratangira mu buzima, turacyavuga mu buzima muri buryo traditionnel bwacu, kugira ngo tugere noneho kuri digital. Ubundi urebye ngira ngo byanavuzwe muri presentation yatangiye, ya mindset ntabwo yigeze ihinduka, za violence ntabwo zigeze zihinduka, ahubwo nazo zagiye muri technology, ahubwo birakoreshwa no mu buryo bwa technology ubu ngubu. So ngira ngo hari imbaraga nyinshi zikeneye gukoreshwa muri bwa buryo bwacu traditionnel d'abord, kugira ngo ya mindset y'abagabo ihinduke cyangwa se improving cyangwa se ibe more positive. Ko turabibona yuko iyo abagabo bemeye za mbaraga za powers bafite na za privileges bafite bakemera kuzisharinga, you know, turabasaba ko tubasharinga za privilege na power n'abagore, noneho babikoreshe kugira ngo tugere ku iterambere rirambye rya twese. So aho ngaho nizo activity tugenda dukorana n'abagabo, kandi ko nabivugaga hano mu Rwanda rwa twabitege kuva 2010 tumaze gukora evaluation kugira ngo turebe ese biratanga result, biratanga umusaruro. nanjye mbitangira nabo natangiye muri bingi yo korana n'abagore n'abagabo n'abahungu iyo back in 2010 nanjye naribazaga kuri uwo program twatangiye ngira ngo babivuze muri introduction byari byo kwingenjiga abagabo mu bijyanye na maternal health, child health, GBV prevention. Kibaza est-ce que umugabo w'umunyarwanda muri za norme nanjye urumva natwe twese nous sommes le produit de la même société, imyumvire ni yayindi. So ubwo twarabitangiye mu numva ko ari ibintu bitazashoboka, ako good enough ikintu tumaze kubona nuko from evidence ko twakoze vraiment ibyo bita randomized control trial. It's a very rigorous kind of evaluation. Dusanga koko gukoresha izira program zo kwicara n'abagabo bakaganira bonyine bagatekereza kuri ya myifatire yabo no kuba proposer des solutions, abagabo barahinduka. Tumaze kubibona ubu kugeza ubu ngubu kuva icyo gihe kugeza ubu ngubu iyi program tumo turakoresha ngo yabandebereho niko bayita kubabizi muri Romrek. It has become a flagship program for us as a Kimondo. Tugenda tusharinga n'ahandi ku isi kubera ko twasanze yuko bishoboka koko iyo wingeginze abagabo in a positive way. Ko iki nagifoko tucyuva natwe nk'abantu bari muri field. Ko hari ikindi kibazo gihari mu bantu les intervenants muri iyi domaine nicyo twita we should be able to engage men in a positive way to avoidinga kuba instrumentalizing. Ko nacyo ni ikindi kibazo. Ko program nyinshi zirazo gasanga ni programs involving abagabo n'abahungu. Aho gasanga uburyo babisoba the narrative itself it creating a barrier cyangwa se resistance from the side of the men. Kugasanga zira zivuga uti d'abord baza bapointa du doigt l'homme. Ni mwebwe banyira bayazana. Ni mwebwe dore n'imibarire bigaragaza ni mwebwe perpetrators of violence z'uburyo bwose. Ni mwebwe. Ugasanga none birakrea barrière ku bagabo kugira ngo babe impliqué muri zo programme kandi iyo byagenze kuri rero nkora bivuga ifo umugore n'umugabo. Iyo habaye resistance du côté de l'homme ntabwo biba bigishobotse. So approach dukoresha twebwe ni approach abagabo d'une façon beaucoup plus positive. Cyane ngaruka handi kuri mindset na tradition n'ibiki byose kubereka yuko niba tuvuga ko umubare munini w'aba perpetrators ari abagabo ntabwo ari bo babyiteye niko societe yabubatse yabareze niko bakuze ariko birashoboka ko bahinduka parce que l'homme n'est pas intrinsèquement violent nibyo twabonye mu bushakashatsi kandi niko koko niko bimeze nta mugabo uvuka ari violent nta muhungu uvuka ari violent ni construction sociale ni société yacu imugira kuba violent donc birashoboka ko bahinduka. Icya kabiri nanone ngira ngo tujye tubibara ku ma image batweretse ahangaha nabyo aba intervenant muri domaine should be really very much careful. Yego ne pas instrumentaliser l'homme muri process bisa nkaho umugabo aba impliqué nk'igikoresho kugira ngo tugere kuri gender equality no ku fighting against GBV. Ako de l'autre côté aussi il faut gukora ku buryo n'umugore ataba marginalisé. Kuko nanone usanga program usanga umugore nyine akomeza kuba yitwa mu victim. Niyo mpamvu ngiye nkunda le mot survivor more than victim. Kuva yuko atagomba kuguma muri ya cercle cyangwa se muri kagatebo ko mu victim. Byose none tubigarura muri bijyanye na mindset. So ngira ngo binavugaga yuko ni dushobora kuri ibi byose umugabo n'umuhungu batabifite mu ruhare. Ariko nanone c'est important kumenya ni gute tubimplikamo dukoresha uburyo bwiza tutabafata nk'aba nyirabayazana tunumvikanisha yuko niba bameze uko bameze niba dufite umubare munini w'abaperpetrators z'abagabo ni kubera societe yacu ko yubatse ako bishobora guhinduka. Yandi kindi ntavuze mu gihe na societe ndani ngari navuze muri norme sociale ako dufite n'ikibazo cy'amadini. Abanyarwanda abanyafrika turi attaché ku madini kandi amadini nayo dufitemo ikibazo kugira ngo nabo dufite programme tuzobona iki kuganiraho cyo gukora n'abayobozi b'amadini kugira ngo nabo mu interpretation y'amatexte biblique cyangwa se ibitabo bitagatifu ko nabo hari gihaza mu kibazo ugasanga nabo birakrea gap aho dushaka kugira ngo tugere kuri gender equality renforcer za norme inéquitable za genre ariko anga kugira ngo ndangirize vuga ni hari ibintu bitatu bikenewe. Icya mbere ni awareness. Ngira ngo byavuzwa hanga hari birabona ibintu bihita ku media Twitter n'ibiki byose abantu bakabinjoyinga ako badafata umwanya ngo batekereze impact bibafiteho byaba abagore ubwabo les victimes cyangwa se aba perpetrators ubwabo. So ngira ngo intambwe ya mbere ni awareness hakaza kuzamo noneho no ko iyo habaye awareness naho wa muntu wa mugabo yaba mu perpetrator cyangwa mu victim atangira gutekereza no kuba sensible ku kibazo. Ako nono indi ntambwe ikine extra mile ngira ngo no tugerageza noneho kuba sensible ku bibazo ni kimwe ako have to make it transformative in a way that we need really to touch on the root causes z'ibibazo byose ko cyo gihe ngo tubona results ziri last zitinda naho ubundi tuba dushaka gukemura les symptômes ako tutageze ku mizi y'ikibazo. So ngira ngo niyo navugaga icyanyuma ndi buvuge ni kubijyanye na partnership na collaboration. Ngira ngo ikibazo ni baravuga ni it's everyone, ni ikibazo kireba buri wese, umugore, umugabo, umuhungu, umukobwa. So mwebwe nk'abalayers bwanyu ntabwo mwabikora ngo mubone igisubizo kirambye. Twebwe turi muri za ONG ntabwo bishoboka. RIB byikorera bikora ni byiza twabibonye, ako bonyine ntabwo bishoboka, bakeneye amaboko y'abandi nanone. So ngira ngo hanga hakendewe a kind of to be intentional about the collaboration. Hari ikintu twe twita iwacu muri Ekimundo cyaranatangiye mu bihugu bimwe na bimwe hano mu Rwanda na Romrek twarabitangiye to create a allyship hagati y'abagabo. Kuko nanone muri izi mpinduka tuvuga nabwo abantu bose bazahindukira icyarimwe overnight. Ako dufite abagabo tuta champions hano mu Rwanda, dufite aba champions hano, dufite abandebereho muri Afrique de l'Ouest, dufite amazina tubita. Ako ni babagabo bamaze gusobanukirwa bumva yuko uruharo rwabo rukenewe kugira ngo tugere kuri gender equality n'imbaraga zabo ya powers na privileges kugira ngo tu preventing cyangwa se to fighting against GBV. So ngira ngo nge icyo navuga nuko hangaha ni initiative nziza ya Rwanda Bar Association. Aho ngira ngo hakenewe kugira indi reflexion irenzeho yo gucreate iyo allyship cyangwa se iyo collaboration cyangwa partnership n'izindi nzego zose zifite mu ruhare. Hari mu nzego za leta bien sûr n'izira hangaha kugira ngo none tugere ku gisubizo kirambye ko buri wese afite icyo yazana ku meza kugira ngo tubone igisubizo gishobora kudufasha yenda kuwihutisha ibisubizo kubijyanye no kurwanya ihohotera rishingiye GBV. Ako cyane cyane ibyo turimo turavugaho uyu munsi bijyanye na IT, aho nakomeje vuga nti babagabo babagore les victimes niba bara kubyumva mu buryo busanzwe bworoshye nibwo bashobora kubyumva kurushaho no uruhare au niveau ya digital na IT, aho biba beaucoup plus complexe et compliqué nkuko twabibonye hangaha. So ngira ngo nabampagarikiye aho ngaho murakoze.
Thank you, Shamsi. Thank you. I would like to invite the panelists. Apparently, we have among us some people that don't understand Kinyarwanda. So if we could speak French and English more than Kinyarwanda or mixed it up a bit, it would be helpful. We have members of the Bar Association that don't speak our language. So on the question that you raised, Shamsi, on the fact that you can transform behaviors of men, my question is, are we doing this the wrong way to try to change people that are already a certain way? Can't we try to do it earlier? Have you done through your research, have you found any answers to whether it's better to try to talk to boys that become men in changing their behavior or forming their behavior before they actually become men that eventually some of them become the bad apples that spoil the reputation of other men?
Yeah. Thank you for the question. I think for the first one, on whether people are trying to do it wrong or right, I wouldn't say yes, they're doing it wrong, but I think what I mentioned is that, there are steps actually when you're trying to engage men and boys for gender equality. So the first step is just, raising awareness. That's the bottom point actually. Because sometimes some men do or behave in a violent way, not because they want to do it or because they are just, violent people, but just because they don't know. So the first step is just to raise awareness, to build capacity, so that men understand, the whole, problem around the issue itself. And the second thing that we've been trying to do is to be able to explain to men, especially adult men, fathers or, husbands, the cost of it. Kuko iki nacyo ni ikindi kintu kinini twabonye cyagize akamaro. What is the cost to the man himself when he's trying to get involved actively in the whole process or journey of gender equality? Aho ngaho twavugaga ya gender construction y'abagabo ya gender box, the man box and the woman box. Actually abagabo nabo barealiza yuko nabo bifiteho cost ko bibafite ingaruka. So tugerageje kuganira n'abagabo cyane cyane in the couple discussions, abagabo bafite ingo agagusobanura ko tutangira kuri activity very simple. Umugabo nyawe ninde? What is a real man? Badukora list itarangira. Umugabo ufite imbaraga, umugabo ufite amafaranga, umugabo uvuga ari kijyana, umugabo ufite abana, umugabo toute une liste. Umugore niki? Ni wa undi utavuga, uri humble, uzi kwita ku bana, uzi guteka neza, uzi gusasa. Donc en fait biba biri kandi ni mu bihugu byose aho ngiye nageze actually. Ureba zira chat ziba zisa. Iyo bitangiriye hariya rero mukagenda no mu analyze. so kuvuga ngo umugabo nyawe hari ikindi nibutse twakomeje kubona muri research, most of the research we've done in Rwanda and elsewhere, kimwe kigaruka henshi, umugabo nyawe ntarira, very simple, to mean ntabwo agaragaza his emotions. None iyo bigerageje kubikomeza ngira ngo yabivuzeho jana bijyanye na mental health, ingaruka zabyo ziba zikomeye cyane plus tard, kuko kutarira no kutagaragaza emotion ngira ngo anga tutagira bamureki. It was not really funny but it was somehow sad, aho abagabo for the first time bishimiye yuko bashoboye kugira nkatwa bitwa akagoroba k'abagore, so babidaga ngo akagoroba k'abagabo tugitangira group z'abagabo, akavuga nibo bwa mbere imyaka tuvuga iby'abagore guteza abagore imbere, ako nibo bwa mbere tubonye opportunité kwicara twebwe nk'abagabo hagati yacu, ako twiyumvise ibintu bimwe abantu barabisikaga ko byari bibabaje, kubera ko umugabo bambwiye ko nta mugabo urira, nta mugabo ugaragaza emotion ainsi de suite. Twagize kaza abagabo twasanze bamaze imyaka myinshi muri violence, bakubitwa n'abagore, babuzwa, ariko agakubitwa mu nzu, akora ko umugabo nyawe yagera hanze akiyumanganya. Ako kubera ko twagize izo group bikitagera muri focus group discussion muri formative research, so byabaye nka therapy noneho ko abagabo barifunguye, akakubwira ukuntu abagore baba infidèle, ariko akavuga ati ndajya kubivuga mu bandi bagabo gute ko umugore yanciye inyuma, ndajya kuvuga gute ko umugore yankubise, kandi koko ngira ngo nibyo byavuzwe kare ko ngutu tuvuga the soft power niyo it matters a lot. Biriya babigishije ukuntu baguze ngo umugabo agomba kuba akomeye, ugasanga arimo arirwana n'ubwose adafite imbaraga naturellement, akuvuga ko approve ko akomeye, akajya kwihambira ku mugore umurusha imbaraga, umugore akamukubita, umugore yamukubita akagira isoni zo kubivuga. So urumva ibyo byose byarafashije, nibyo navugaga nyine ko kubaha iyo space abagabo yo kuvuga nabyo byarafashije. Ako ku kindi gikomeye wavuze no twabonye from research and evidence, nuko gutangira kare gukorana n'abana b'abahungu bitanga amahirwe menshi yo kuzagira aba adult, abagabo n'ababyeyi bari more gender sensitive and equitable. Ibyo twagiye tubona mu bushakashatsi bwinshi, nanga twari bitangiye ngira ngo zangira gunahanira Romurek dufite ibyo twita boys clubs for gender equality, aho dutangira n'abana b'abahungu bakiri batoya. Ubu no tugeze n'ahandi muri programs za Ikimundo, peut-être pas hano mu Rwanda ako mu Faransa n'ahandi twaratangiye noneho muri guhera ku bana bafite imyaka 4 ko niyo bitangirira, kuko kubaka umuhungu icyo azaba cyo niyo bitangirira. Kwa kundi tubikora inconsciemment, ibyo navuga n'abagore, wakora iki umukobwa nagomba gukora iki ngiki, umuhungu ntakora iki ngiki. Nabyo twavuze bya violence, prise de décision et tout, ntukore kuri televiziyo ya papa, ntukore kuri telefone ya papa, niba ari isafuriya ni isafuriya ya mama, niba ari isahani ni isahani ya mama. Donc bitangira hakiri kare, so iyo tubitangiye kare kuba abana banabo bacenejega ababyeyi babo, ugasanga no bakuze nibura basa nkaho bari more gender equal, bikanadufasha kuvuga tuti plus tard tuzagira abagabo noneho bari more equal and less violent muri famille zabo. Dufite un exemple nziza muri Afrique de l'Ouest dukoraho, yo tubita les écoles de mari et les écoles de futurs maris. Hariya noneho nabamaze gukoraho gato, donc baba jeune bari kwitegura kujya gushaka, tukatagira kubategura noneho gura za behaviors ziri more gender sensitive and equitable, kandi turabona yuko hari resultat bo biratanga. Ko bigeze mu bagiye kurwubakaho biranakomera kurushaho, ngira ngo niyo deba imaze iminsi iri nahangaha n'ama organisation dukorana bidindiza gender equality mu bijyanye na unpaid care work. Ya unpaid care byo twavugaga guteka n'ibyo umugore, bya bindi byose care giving work, abarwaye mu rugo ni inshingano z'umugore, ugasanga en plus y'inshingano professionnel ariyongera za nshingano n'ubundi ziri reproductive zo mu rugo. So kugerageza kwigisha za couple kugira ngo tugere kwiterambere nyaryo, dukende contribution ya bombi. Yanda turaza kubigaruka kandi tugera no mu mwuga wanyu rero nk'aba lawyers, ngira ngo nasomye byinshi bijyanye nabyo, ngira ngo yanabivuze batoniye gitangira nakare tutagira binavugaga, ni byiza imibare aho igeze ubu ngubu n'ukuntu igenda yiyongera. Ahubwo ko dukeneye cyane reflexion, dukeneye we need to go beyond numbers. Iyo mibare muri leadership yanyu, iyo mibare mu bavoka, iyo mibare ivuga iki noneho mu kazi mukora, ako noneho i-translatinga gute no mu buzima bwanyu bwa buri munsi. Ko rero ni challenge dufite natwe muri domaine dukoramo, iyo tuganira nk'abakolege nk'ubwo ndicara nkana bivuga ndumu gender activist, ndumu expert, mfite masters et tout, ako naji wanjye mu rugo no muri relations zanyu gusanga n'ibindi. So nabyo ni ikindi kibazo, ugasanga rero biravuga kari ngitangira on donne pas ce qu'on n'a pas. Turafite abagabo benshi kabisa twita aba champion, twavuga abandebereho, twagera za Nyaruguru nayo hose akaza kavuga mu gituraga bose bagara, ako bagire bo mu rugo ugasanga ibyo akora c'est différent nibyo we avuga muri public. So ibyo tuvuga tukagumya no kubiviva mu buzima bwacu bwa buri munsi kugira ngo tube koko babandebereho wa mugani cyangwa se aba role models. But encore une fois kugira ngo garuke kuri question wambajije ngira ngo yes byaragaragaye kandi biragaragara yuko the more we start early abahungu bakiri batoya the more we have amahirwe menshi kugira tuzagira abagabo noneho bari more involved kandi bari tayari kuba aba champion cyangwa se agent of change mu bijyanye no gufightinga against gender-based violence. Merci.
Thank you, Shamsi. I would like to encourage everybody to write questions down. If you have any questions, if you want to make a comment, you write it down, and then at the end we are going to have a Q&A. Abafite ibibazo, please mube mubyandika na comments. Turaza kubaha umwanya at the end of the panel discussion kugira ngo namwe mugire ibyo muvuga cyangwa ibyo mubaza. Let me bring you in, Pearl, into the conversation. My question is, how can technology be used as a tool to fight against SGBV?
Okay, thank you. Maybe I'm not a lawyer, but I'll speak from the perspective of an innovator and a tech expert. Or like the SG said, technology is an enabler. Today, everything we do, we are supported by technology. If we do not have access, equal access as a woman and a man and a boy, tech cannot be useful for us. So we use technology in terms of awareness raising. You've seen so many tech spaces on Twitter where we pass on information, bring key speakers, experts, to speak about issues that are ongoing on GBV and any other related topics. We also look at technology. Much as technology has disadvantages, like the SG was talking about, exploitation, shaming people online, especially women, victimizing people and making them all over the place. Tech is really, it has its negatives and positives. So if we speak about the positives, they are also good, because if in the cases where you're not able to go to report, at least tech can give you the platform to report to RIB about any issues. So I look at technology as an enabler for reporting and raising awareness. And there are so many other tools that also globalization is changing. There are so many crimes coming up, and there are so many new things coming up. So the more we evolve with the technology, the better for us to use it. So for me, tech is really making life easy. And during COVID, I think everyone noticed that at some point you could not go to the market without having to request for access. So really, for us, tech was everything for us to make the business continuity go on. So I think that would be my perspective for tech as a solution.
So maybe let me bring you back to something maybe you might be have a lot more information. What is the UN Women as part of the UN family that is involved in trying to create gender equality? How is it using IT to enhance gender equality?
Okay, so speaking on behalf of the UN Women, we are working with our different partners in terms of equipping people with skills. When we talk about technology, we have to talk about access, and then we have to equip people with skills to be able to use the tech. So what UN Women is doing, we are working with government, we are working with RIB, we are working with different partners, including Imbuto, in terms of bringing services to survivors. She said she doesn't like victims, so we'll go with survivors. For example, we are working with our partners to be creative in terms of addressing the challenges. During COVID, we were doing something called the mobile legal clinics into the villages and districts. And what that means is we are bringing the mobile clinic to the survivors to be able to report their cases. And also different service providers like RIB, which makes it easy for the survivors to report their cases. Also, another thing we are doing, we are also equipping girls with tech skills, including coding. So giving them the skills to be able to develop solutions using coding. It is something new, but we also help the girls who are not able to go to school. For example, those who have finished secondary school and do not have access to university, we are giving them access to engage in TVET, which will also give them opportunities to be able to create jobs. So those are some of the tech solutions that we are trying to work with partners. We cannot do it as UN or as UN Women alone. So we are working with different tech companies. We are working with IGIRE to equip girls with ICT skills. These are short courses. We are also trying to work with universities, Catholic University, to train girls in Internet of Things. So all those are things that are giving them skills to be able to create opportunities.
Thank you, Paul. Let me bring James into the conversation. James, as a lawyer, how do you see lawyers? How can they use tech as a tool to fight against SGBV?
Thank you, moderator, and thank you for bringing me in. Kare ninjiye hano banyereka lisiti basinyaho ngiye gusinya barambuza. I cracked a joke. Nawe se ko mumbujije gusinya biragenda gute ngo n'abagore basinya gusa. Abagije muzabikosore najye ujye mwemerera na. Koko in order to fight GBV you need men and more men on board. So for me, coming back to your question, first of all, IT is just a tool. It's just a tool. It's just a means. Okay. Before we come to that, we need to look at the actual thing, the actual offenses of GBV. We all know as lawyers that there are quite a number of charges. Charges meaning, I hope everybody understands when I say charges, like offenses within our laws. But IT is just a tool. It begins with us as lawyers in terms of attitude. Before we reach out to the tool in itself, are we ready to use the tool? Because there's having the tools, but also not being ready to use the tools. Because IT is not the only tool in the cause of justice. But coming back to your question, the role of IT is immense. It's got a very big importance in the dispensation of justice. When you look at the victims, what I usually call a victim journey, a GB victim, GBV occurs in the community, and then the cycle of justice starts from reporting to interrogation to questioning, statement taking, all the services, non-profit organization, public entities, all focused to help. Then the victim comes back, or the survivor, if you have to use that, until they get back to be reinstalled into the community. So in all these stages, I do believe IT plays an important role. For example, go to the first thing of reporting. Just in order to understand it, look at it the other way around. Imagine if there was no this tool of IT in the reporting process at all. What would happen? Today we boast of ISMS, right? Look back, before it was not there. I've got this opportunity of having worked both in the public and private sector. Man, when I was a in 1999, 2000, we didn't have this. People would just come to you and then you use your handwritten reporting, and then until you go to the computer and write up things. And most of the time, you'd actually use the typist like, to help you. So right from reporting, it is important, especially if you really need to make a text creation in terms of recording. Because a statement, to be productive, to be helpful, needs to be precise and meaningful. So by use of technology, you'll have better results. Because of IT being a tool in itself, again referring to the common example we have of ISMS. What did we have before ISMS? EFS. If you want to know the importance of something, see how people pose it when it starts. I remember when it started, people were like, no, how are you going to use this? This is going to waste our time. On the contrary, that is number two. It helps in terms of making quicker the process of justice. It eases the work, creation of statement, quickening the process of justice in terms of the trial itself. And because of all this, it helps in the conviction rate. Because the moment you have got the actual tools in terms of helping the victim, statement taking and recording, and you have easy management, of course, of the tool of IT, you have continuing education, because with IT, we learn every other day what can work faster than, as opposed to working really slow. So in other words, what can you do without IT in the process of justice, of helping the victims? I think it's very, 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 very important.
Can I jump in, James?
Thank you. Yes.
Just to ask, among the things, you know, it's very, very hard for lawyers to get convictions, or prosecutors to get convictions for SGBV, especially if it's rape and defilement. So I had a case, for example, where a survivor was raped. She immediately called, went to the hospital and got a rape kit done. And then she had the presence of mind to actually record a phone call that she had with the perpetrator after. And all those recordings were used in the case, and that led to conviction. So there are so many different tools that we can use. You can even, use text messages where, I mean, during that phone call, he was actually saying, "Wambabariye ko naguha ibyo ushaka byose," and all of that. And then when he went to court, he actually said, "I didn't do this." And then we were asking him, "Wasabaga imbabazi ziki?" So there are so many tools that can be used that people are not aware of. Even if you don't want to press charges, I think lawyers should have the presence of mind to always talk to people, to tell them, listen, just do the rape kit, let the information be out there in case you want to press charges later. So those are the kinds of ideas that maybe we should be talking about to let lawyers know that it is true. At the end of the day, if you don't have these neutral, things that are such as rape kits and all of that done, it will be hard for you to get a conviction because it's your word against the alleged perpetrator's word. Yeah. Any comments on that, James?
You're very right. I mean, technology, like I said, is a tool, but it has got like multiple components that you can talk about. Talking about mobile communication, talking about rape kit process, talking about the voice recording, talking about all these things, pieces of evidence that you can really put up together to help the victim. And now that said, you would actually need to talk about also different types of forensics, like you use using IT. I think as lawyers present here, those who have worked on GBV cases, what is very common, I think, is a paternity test, right? I think every other lawyer knows about that because it almost became routine, like, hey, and then it becomes routine. But all these are like components of technology that can actually be used. Talking about the rape kit itself, talking about telecommunications, in terms of phone calls, phone call gadgets, talking about CCTV cameras, for example, in terms of protection of victims. Because, for example, if there's a CCTV camera and there's that rape charge that we're talking about, it's going to be hard for you to deny, actually, it happened, unless it's a miracle that you want to prove, which is almost impossible. So, I am not an IT expert, but I have benefited a lot from the IP expert in that perspective. Because in general, the IT that we know today and what we may know tomorrow, as lawyers, it helps us determine what we will not have known without it. And that said, I really want to bring it in the vein of the role of experts in accordance with the Criminal Procedure Code. So you're right when you bring in.
Okay, thank you. Let's talk about something that is very, very close to my heart, protective measures for victims of SGBV online. James, again, how do we protect the safety and privacy of survivors of SGBV using tech and online technology?
This is actually very difficult in a way, but there are means that are already available. And I wouldn't really much want to differ from what Honorable SG mentioned in terms of the strategies that they have as RIB. We all know that online sexual violence occurs in many ways. One of the common ways are like cyberbullying, for example. You have something called stalking and even sexting, whereby there's some sort of harassment towards the survivors and the victim. You can use them both. But really, in order to protect survivors, there are certain considerations. Among them is the concept of safety. And in that said, we need to have a victim or survivor-centered perspective in terms of, for example, not blaming. This is quite often that when it happens, when there is a rape, for example, in a form of GBV, people may turn up to blame the victim or the offended as opposed to helping them. So a conscience really matters in terms of protecting the survivors. Number one, safety. So that whatever has happened to this survivor, they need to understand that they're being taken care of from the point of view of protection, of being safe. And being safe involves not blaming. That goes with confidentiality, protection of the victim data. It goes with restoration. It goes with respect. I know that as lawyers, we have got that obligation of confidentiality. Everyone knows that we have that obligation. So really having that survivor-centered perspective of not harming their safety, confidentiality, respect, honesty, and non-discrimination. And in addition to that, of course, when it comes to one of the important components, for example, when we talk about GBV, we all know about the multidisciplinary and holistic approach. Holistically, when we are protecting survivors of online GBV, I mean the components that entail what it means to help a survivor need to be considered. We don't look at survivors as clients only. Of course, as lawyers, we charge fees when we're in offices, but we don't look at them as numbers. As numbers to come and bring in what? Resources for us to drive nice cars and enjoy our lives. We also look at them from the point of view of aftercare, for example. There are certain aspects that you may not do as a lawyer, but you need the involvement of the counselors, for example. The role of counselors that come in to help you. And through that, of course, the survivors of online survivors will be protected. Now, I am tempted to say that the protection of online survivors does not very much differ from the protection of those who have experienced GBV on the ground. They have got big commonalities that we all know in terms of holistic approach, which talks about an individual in their whole, psychological, emotional, physical restoration, having counseling until the whole process ends with reintegration, short-term and long-term reintegration, so that they regain their strength in terms of what they have suffered. Let me stop here for now. Then we'll see.
Thank you. Angel, if you can help us to share comments and questions from the audience. Ufite ikibazo cyangwa ufite any question to the panelists? You wanted to say something? Shamsi, you wanted to add? Okay, Paul wants to say something.
Okay. So I just wanted to add that while we speak about tech and devices and gadgets, we should also be very thoughtful of the people who cannot afford them. Where are we putting them? How are we enabling them to actually also come on board? So in that case, we have to think about inclusivity. Tech is very expensive. How do they get the gadgets? How do they access internet connectivity? So all those are things we have to think about. And I'm thinking maybe to do that, for everyone to be inclusive, we need to work together with private sector. It is very key, and telecom companies can help us to subsidize phones so that at least even people who cannot afford internet can report using an SMS. That is just what I wanted to add. Thank you.
Thank you, Paul. Hari ufite ikibazo? Hari ufite comments? You need a microphone, Angel?
Ufite ikibazo, if you have a question, please gently raise your hand.
Bonsoir à tout le monde. C'est un débat extrêmement passionnant et je suis désolée qu'il ait été en Kinyarwanda, notamment l'intervention de la dame qui a été longue et j'imagine riche. Je suis Prudence Marcel, consoeur à vous, et je suis une blogueuse et j'écris énormément sur les réseaux sociaux. J'ai une page, Le changement viendra de nous. Je parle beaucoup de ce sujet-là, parce que je pense que c'est un peu tombé sur la tête des Africains et on a un peu du mal à manager cela. Alors, je voudrais revenir sur ce qu'elle a dit sur la violence masculine qui ne serait pas innée. Je pense qu'en Afrique, on a un gros problème qui est la base, c'est-à-dire l'éducation. Les parents n'éduquent pas également les enfants. Pendant que la jeune fille est dans la cuisine, comme j'aime dire avec K, le petit garçon a le droit de zapper la télé et de jouer. Alors, il grandit avec ce germe-là de domination qui, finalement, n'a pas besoin d'être entraîné. Ça va de fait. On lui apprend qu'il est le chef pendant que sa sœur est la boniche. Alors, forcément, il va regarder la femme un peu au rabais. Et c'est pour ça qu'aujourd'hui, la société africaine a une décrépitude. Parce qu'avec justement les réseaux sociaux, il y a la libération de la parole. Les femmes prennent la parole. Les femmes dénoncent ce qu'elles subissent. Les femmes s'expriment et elles essayent de s'autonomiser, by the way. Donc, je pense que la société africaine doit être repensée. L'accès aux réseaux sociaux des enfants, par exemple, les plus jeunes, doit être contrôlé parce que c'est un monde à part. Et en ce qui concerne la sécurité, la sécurité des personnes sur les réseaux sociaux, il faut moins en montrer. Moi, je suis une blogueuse, mais j'en montre vraiment moins. J'écris plus. Il faut savoir ce qu'on met sur les réseaux sociaux. Et il faut savoir sur quels réseaux sociaux on va. Parce qu'il y a ce qu'on appelle le dark web, que très peu de personnes connaissent. C'est le côté noir des réseaux sociaux, qui n'est pas très accessible, mais c'est là où se passent toutes les mauvaises choses du monde. Donc, comme je disais, c'est vraiment un sujet passionnant et j'aurais aimé qu'il soit accessible à nous tous. Merci.
Merci beaucoup.
How many do we take? the first
no,
round?
No, we keep going until we say we stop.
Okay.
I think that was a comment, although I didn't catch most of it. But I heard about the dark web, so it wasn't a question. Thank you.
Bonsoir à tous. Je me prénomme Bélise. Tout comme la consoeur Prudence, je n'ai pas tout suivi, mais j'ai eu quand même l'aide d'une consoeur qui a traduit certains mots. Donc, je voudrais poser une question et peut-être apporter une contribution. Ma question est la suivante. Madame Shamsi, je ne sais pas si je prononce mal, elle a dit tout à l'heure que dans la vie, ou bien dans la société, l'homme, le vrai homme, c'est celui qui est peut-être qui a de l'argent, qui est nanti. Et la vraie femme, c'est celle qui est soumise, qui ne parle pas, qui ne contredit pas son mari. Donc, je vais aller dans ce sens pour poser une question. Est-ce que, Madame Shamsi, pensez-vous que la culture dans notre société africaine constitue un obstacle au succès de cette lutte contre les violences basées sur le genre? Ça, c'est ma question. Et je voudrais peut-être apporter une contribution, je ne sais pas trop, allant dans le même sens que Prudence tout à l'heure, qui dit que les jeunes garçons les éduquent en disant, bon, tu as le droit de prendre la télécommande, de zapper, bref, reste au salon et fais ce que tu veux. La jeune fille, elle doit être à la cuisine. Du genre, la place de la femme, c'est à la cuisine. Je voudrais aller dans ce sens pour dire que si nous devons lutter efficacement, ou bien l'une des solutions pour lutter efficacement contre les violences basées sur le genre, ce serait sûrement de commencer à la base. Et la base, c'est quoi? C'est le bas âge, soit à la maternelle, soit à la maison. Apprendre à nos jeunes garçons, surtout, que la femme, on la traite au même pied d'égalité. Si le garçon a le droit de s'asseoir au salon et de zapper le téléviseur, la jeune fille a aussi ce droit. Si le garçon doit, je ne sais pas, aller jouer au foot ou bien se distraire, la jeune fille, elle a également ses droits. Donc voilà ce que je pouvais dire pour... Merci.
Merci. We'll keep going with the questions, and then we'll have the answers after.
Okay. Bonsoir, chers pénalistes. Bonsoir, chers consoeurs et confrères. Bonsoir, chères dames. Le sujet, je suis Mefire Kotoa Eshetou, je suis consoeur, je suis avocate au barreau du Rwanda. Ce sujet, technologie, c'est très intéressant déjà. Et je voudrais également dire, avec le Covid, comme vous l'avez dit précédemment, le Covid nous a démontré que nous pouvons aller loin avec le numérique. Maintenant, maximiser des réunions de ce genre est très important. Ma question est de savoir, ne serait-il pas nécessaire d'inviter également les hommes à ce type de réunion, d'échange, de discussion, parce que nous allons beau parler. Nous vivons dans un monde avec hommes et femmes. Et je trouve judicieux, lorsqu'il y a des discussions de ce type, d'inviter également plus d'hommes. On parle de technologie, on parle d'innovation. Si aujourd'hui je décide ou je décidais être, par exemple, chirurgien, dans certains pays d'Afrique encore, on demande l'autorisation des maris et des hommes. Donc il faudrait d'abord que je demande la permission à mon mari ou à un homme avant d'être chirurgienne ou avoir des postes, par exemple, de gardienne de maison ou bien d'autres. Donc, je suggérerais que dans l'avenir, ce type d'événement ou ce type de discussion soit également ouvert à plus d'hommes, parce que également eux sont également des acteurs de la société et nous avons besoin d'eux pour que l'égalité soit effective. Merci.
Merci. Angel, Maitre Hilary over here put up her hand a long time ago. If you could pass the microphone to her, please. Right here in red on the second table.
Thank you. Irari Mukamazimaka. Hari ibibazo bimwe ntabaza kuko bamaze kubibaza. Ubundi ni inama nasabaga. Ikibazo cy'uko twagomye kuba turi kumwe n'abagabo benshi cyangwa se benda kungana natwe kugira ngo bumve ibi biganiro, nanjye nakibonye numvaga cyari très important. Ntabwo twe mu Rwanda tugeze aho tugomba gusaba uruhushya ngo tuze mu nama, ariko nkuko numvaga ibyo twarabirenze, ariko numvaga bari hano bagakurikira ibiganiro byadufasha. Ikindi tumaze kubona technologie ko ari très important, ituma iterambere riza vuba ryihuta, innovation, ariko kandi tubona ko inakoreshejwe nabi bitwangiriza abana. Or twe tugifite abana batoya za 10 n'ingahe n'iki ku ishuri, ama exercice yo ku ishuri batanga kuri laptop, kuri telefone, hari byo bita JIA, Miss, usanga umwana niyo adafite telefone avuga ati ntiza ndebe mu exercice, uzabyuka n'iki byo ari kureba natari kureba, ko genda ngo giye kureba ibyo gukora byo ku ishuri, ko twabonye ibyo babona, twakora iki? Wenda n'umukuru wari baraza kutubwira nawe yabituvuzeho, twakora iki kugira ngo abana bacu batareba bitarebwa bakiri muri iyo myaka? Murakoze.
Anybody else with a question? We'll take 2 more and then we'll have answers. Ariko your table ngira ngo wayibanzeho cyane Angel. Let's go around the conference room, not just
Murakoze. Je voudrais parler en français pour que tout le monde aussi soit comme je peux parler le français. Je voulais demander à Madame Shams Kazimbaye. Elle a dit qu'elle voulait, et il donne aussi des formations à des jeunes jeunes garçons qui veulent se marier ou qui sont peut-être jeunes mariés.
Quel est votre nom, s'il vous plaît?
Mon nom, je m'appelle Aziza. Je suis au barreau du Rwanda et je travaille dans le domaine de GBV aussi. Donc, je voulais demander, Shams, quels sont les défis par rapport, parce que nous avons la même culture africaine, mais comme vous travaillez dans beaucoup de pays différents, je me dis qu'il y a quand même des différences près d'un pays à un autre. Quand vous donnez des formations, vous avez eu des succès dans les familles, sûrement, mais vous avez aussi des défis. Est-ce qu'il y a une façon de nous donner dans vos recherches et dans votre réalité de terrain, si vous avez trouvé une certaine similarité, mais aussi des différences, qui ont fait que dans un pays, il y a eu des succès, et dans d'autres, il y a vraiment des défis qui demandent beaucoup d'efforts pour pouvoir éduquer les hommes, pour pouvoir collaborer et avoir aussi le succès pour lutter contre le GBV. Merci.
2 more questions or 1 more?
Yeah. Good afternoon, dear panelists, and good afternoon, dear colleagues. I'm Chinda Mirabel, a member of the Rwandan Bar Association. My question is in relation to the issue one of the panelists raised concerning the fact that some of those in the community, they always try to protect the interest of their victims or of those that are the perpetrators of the GBV. Now, I wish to know what is actually being done, or how far is the IT department, let me put it that way, is really trying to sensitize the community, especially those in the rural areas. And equally, I just wish to contribute this issue of education at the base of our children. When we are educating them at the base, we shouldn't forget about sex education, because when we just advise them on how to use IT, this, that, we don't mention or we don't teach them on sex education, it becomes a serious problem as they are growing. They are being so inquisitive and they want to know why certain things are happening, what is actually happening, especially with the development of most organs, yes. So I just wish to know, the main question was just to know how far the society, especially those in the rural areas, how they are being sensitized on the use of IT to fight against this GBV. Thank you.
Thank you. Can we have the panelists answer some of the questions? Unfortunately, because of language issues, I didn't catch most of them. So please, the panelists, if one of you or two of them was addressed to you, please feel free.
Merci beaucoup. Est-ce qu'on m'entend? D'accord. Bon, je pense que la plupart des questions étaient adressées vers moi, c'était en français, donc je vais essayer de répondre en français. Et je vais essayer de combiner la première et la deuxième question aux commentaires de Prudence, Marcel et Bélise, parce que c'était beaucoup plus lié à ce que j'ai dit par rapport à la façon dont nous, les parents ou les sociétés ou les familles africaines, et rwandaises particulièrement, éduquent les enfants d'une façon que je ne dirais pas vraiment égalitaire. Et ça va en fait avec ce que j'ai dit par rapport à ce que nous appelons dans nos jargons ou dans ce que nous faisons la boîte masculine et la boîte féminine. Donc ça commence trop tôt. Donc la société, nos sociétés se sont développées en sorte qu'on nous a déjà mis dans les boîtes dès la naissance. Et ça, on le voit même tous les jours. Même maintenant avec la technologie, maintenant on entend parler de la technologie, dès que la femme sait qu'elle est enceinte, elle sait déjà que c'est une fille, les décorations commencent en rose, les décorations du garçon commencent en bleu, les jouets commencent à s'acheter, il y a les ballons, il y a les revolvers, il y a le camion qui s'achète pour le garçon, il y a les casseroles, il y a les cuillères, il y a les assiettes qui s'achètent, les poupées et tout ça pour la fille. Déjà, ça commence déjà trop tôt. Et donc juste pour renforcer que c'est vrai, ça commence trop tôt, déjà en famille, mais aussi parlant de la construction sociale des normes chez les filles et chez les garçons. C'est vrai que ça commence en famille avec les parents, nous les femmes, qui renforçons aussi ces normes inégalitaires. Mais ça renforce maintenant quand l'enfant commence à grandir et que l'enfant va chez les voisins, que l'enfant va à l'école, que l'enfant va à l'église, que l'enfant va à la mosquée. Et donc c'est ça les efforts que nous faisons dans ce que nous faisons. Donc c'est vrai que ça se construit au niveau de la famille et dans les interventions que nous essayons de mener et qui sont en train de montrer des bons résultats, à commencer par ici au Rwanda, c'est que quand on commence tôt, et qu'on travaille à tous ces niveaux-là. Parce que nous faisons ce que nous adaptons ce qu'on appelle le modèle écologique. C'est vrai que le grand travail à faire doit se faire au niveau de la famille, avec les parents, ensemble, les hommes et les femmes, donc les papas et les mamans. Mais aussi, il y a un grand travail aussi qui doit être fait en dehors de la famille, avec les voisins, avec la grande famille, la famille élargie, mais aussi au niveau de l'école. Au niveau des autres institutions, donc les églises, parce qu'on sait bien qu'en Afrique, au Rwanda aussi, nous sommes des sociétés très religieuses, dans nos religions différentes. Donc il y a un grand pouvoir aussi chez nos prêtres, chez nos imams. Donc on connaît déjà la force de leur voix, de leur pouvoir. Depuis quelques années, je suis très impliquée dans les interventions en Afrique de l'Ouest, beaucoup plus les pays musulmans. On a vu combien les imams ou bien les leaders religieux avaient la force de pouvoir changer tout ça. Et donc, on a commencé déjà à développer un module pour les leaders religieux, les imams et les autres, pour qu'ils puissent nous accompagner dans ce travail-là. Et on a vu que c'était vraiment des messages qui étaient très forts et qui changeaient déjà les comportements des femmes et des hommes au niveau de famille. Donc, juste pour encore une fois dire que c'est vrai, ça commence en famille, mais encore une fois, dire que c'est des constructions sociales. Parce que nous, on l'a vu déjà que c'est des choses qui pouvaient changer. Donc, c'est des choses qui ont été construites, mais qui aussi peuvent se déconstruire avec des approches vraiment appropriées. Et comme je le disais, surtout chez les hommes, ça, on l'a vu un peu partout. Et ça va peut-être rejoindre la question d'Aziz, sur laquelle je vais revenir, sur comment nous approchons les hommes pour pouvoir arriver à l'égalité des genres et aussi pour qu'ils soient aussi des partenaires, des alliés actifs dans cette démarche-là. Donc, il faut les approcher. D'abord, il y a je ne sais pas comment le dire, il y a ce machisme du côté des hommes, selon la façon dont ils ont été élevés, ils ont été éduqués. Vous avez donné des exemples. Ça, on le voit tous les jours. Même nous qui nous disons être des experts en genre et tout, mais nous le faisons des fois inconsciemment. Quand on achète ces jouets-là, quand on dit à la fille ce qu'elle doit faire, au garçon ce qu'il doit faire, quand on laisse le garçon regarder la télé au moment où la fille est en train d'aider maman à la cuisine. Donc, nous-mêmes, femmes, nous renforçons aussi ces inégalités-là. Et donc, c'est pourquoi je disais qu'avec ces approches, et aussi ça va revenir à la question d'Aïchatou et Hilary, sur l'implication des hommes et la présence des hommes même. Je ne sais pas si je dirais que j'étais un peu déçue en regardant la salle ici, pour cet événement, et le nombre d'hommes qui sont là. Donc, c'est peut-être pas un premier pas, et je remercie et j'apprécie déjà les quelques hommes qui sont là, mais je pense que c'est quelque chose à laquelle il faut vraiment penser, impliquer beaucoup plus d'hommes. Parce que je le disais au début dans ma présentation, c'est qu'avec cette construction sociale-là, qui a mis l'homme dans sa boîte, la femme dans sa boîte, qui a donné tout ce pouvoir et tous ces privilèges à l'homme, et du coup, ça fait que l'homme aujourd'hui, il est en grande majorité l'acteur des violences. C'est pas que c'est venu de lui. Donc on dit pas, on le pointe pas du doigt que c'est lui, mais c'est comme ça que la société l'a fait. Donc il est important, s'il est déjà acteur, il fait partie du problème, il faut qu'il fasse partie de la solution aussi. Et pour qu'il fasse partie de la solution, il faut qu'il soit présent dans ces genres de forums, dans ces genres de discussions. Donc, je suis complètement d'accord avec ceux qui ont parlé de ça, qu'il est important, pas seulement ici, mais dans toutes les autres discussions. Il faut que les hommes soient présents pour qu'ils comprennent et pour qu'ils contribuent aussi. Et aussi, peut-être pour finir à cette question-là, l'importance de commencer tôt avec les jeunes enfants, mais aussi l'importance aussi, parce que même si on parle de violence basée sur le genre, je pense que les femmes aussi ne sont pas... En fait, c'est vrai que les femmes contribuent beaucoup, elles font beaucoup de choses, mais on ne peut pas arriver loin sans l'implication des hommes. On a besoin des hommes. On a besoin des hommes dans ce débat, on a besoin des hommes dans this journey of transformation, dans ce voyage vers la transformation, si je peux dire ainsi. Donc ça répond directement à la question de Aïchatou sur l'implication des hommes. Et peut-être pour la question de Aziza concernant les succès et les défis. Donc je peux peut-être énumérer certains, et encore une fois commencer par le Rwanda, où j'ai quand même eu la chance d'être impliquée dans ce programme pendant plusieurs années de suite. Déjà depuis 2016, le travail avec les hommes et les garçons avec Rwanda Men's Resource Center. Donc je dirais que le premier succès dépend d'abord et surtout de la volonté politique. Donc là, je fais un peu la comparaison parce que j'ai quand même cette vue un peu plus ou moins globale de ce travail que nous faisons ici au Rwanda. On fait le même travail en RDC, on fait le même travail en Afrique de l'Ouest, avec les mêmes approches et les mêmes stratégies, mais on a moins de succès ailleurs qu'au Rwanda. Pourquoi? Parce que je me dis, je pense que ça a été dit même, il y a une grande volonté politique et ça fait partie des priorités du gouvernement rwandais. Ça déjà, ça nous donne une base solide pour pouvoir mettre en œuvre nos programmes. Donc ça, c'est la première chose. Mais sinon, aussi quelque chose qui est similaire, si je peux dire ainsi. Si tu regardes un peu dans toutes les sociétés où on travaille, les problèmes liés à la tradition, aux normes sociales, ça, je veux dire que c'est la même chose un peu partout. Mais ce qui diffère évidemment, c'est enabling ou le conducive environment dans la volonté politique. Mais sinon, les problèmes liés aux traditions et aux normes sociales sont les mêmes. Et donc c'est un grand défi qu'on a vu partout, mais évidemment où on voit quand même quelques succès. Comme pour l'instant, on est en train de mettre en œuvre un programme, c'est encore une initiative de Kimundo qui s'appelle Global Boyhood Initiative. Ça a été vraiment conçu rien que pour les jeunes enfants. Là, on a commencé avec les enfants du primaire, on est allé jusqu'au collège, donc un peu les niveaux secondaires. Et donc le défi, il y a encore une fois aux normes sociales. Parce que là, on est en train de travailler dans les écoles primaires et secondaires publiques en France, à Paris principalement. Et là, le grand défi qu'on a vu, c'était quoi? C'est cette projection ou bien les attitudes des parents. Parce qu'il y a beaucoup plus les parents immigrants qui sont venus la plupart des fois des pays africains, mais aussi des pays arabes, où il y a la religion musulmane qui domine. Donc ces parents, comme je le disais, nous sommes nous-mêmes produits de nos mêmes sociétés. Et donc, les enfants, quand on commence à les amener dans les petits clubs de jeunes pour le changement de comportement et l'égalité de genre, et quand l'enfant rentre et commence à raconter à la maman surtout ce qui est en train de se passer à l'école dans les clubs, qu'on lui apprend qu'en tant que fille, elle a le même droit que le garçon, qu'elle peut faire tout ce que la fille fait, à part tout ce qui est biologique et tout et tout. Il y a déjà les parents qui commencent à se sentir un peu menacés, quoi. Qu'on va toucher à leurs normes sociales, à leurs croyances religieuses et tout. Et donc, du coup, ça devient un grand défi avec les parents. Et c'est pourquoi je reviens à l'importance de concevoir ou de penser à des interventions à plusieurs niveaux. C'est vrai qu'on a vu que c'était vraiment... ça a montré beaucoup de succès au niveau individuel, à travailler avec les jeunes gens, donc les enfants à l'école, dans le primaire, le secondaire, avec les parents, avec les hommes en tant que dans les couples, bien les parents. Mais il est très, très important aussi de penser à travailler à d'autres niveaux du modèle écologique. Donc, au niveau de la communauté, on a parlé de campagne tantôt, et c'est là que je disais qu'on a besoin de tout le monde. Je pense qu'il y a la collègue de UNWM qui l'a dit. Le RIB ne peut pas le faire seul. Le Rwanda Bar Association non plus ne peut pas le faire seul. Les ONG ne peuvent pas le faire seuls. Donc, il y a vraiment besoin de coordonner ces efforts pour pouvoir arriver à un grand impact et aussi être stratégique dans le choix des partenaires et collaborateurs. Sinon, peut-être pour rassurer tout le monde, on a pu quand même faire les interventions, mais on les a évaluées, comme je l'ai dit. Donc ça montre qu'avec des bonnes interventions, avec des bonnes approches, tous les défis qu'on est en train de voir là, il est possible que ça change. Donc on a parlé beaucoup plus de construction sociale, mais il est possible de déconstruire ces normes inégalitaires de genre et d'arriver à l'égalité de genre et d'avoir les hommes à bord pour pouvoir aussi contribuer sur l'élimination des violences basées sur le genre. Je pense que c'était ça les questions, si j'ai bien compris. S'il y a d'autres clarifications, je peux clarifier. Et je m'excuse encore une fois pour la langue. Je pense qu'on a été on n'a pas compris au début qu'est-ce qu'il fallait faire. Mais j'invite tout le monde quand même à visiter notre site web. Il y a plein de ressources qui sont ouvertes. Il y a plein de matériel que vous pouvez visiter sur comment travailler avec les hommes et les garçons pour l'égalité de genre. Merci beaucoup.
Merci beaucoup, Shamsi. And many of the questions were addressed in French, and fortunately or unfortunately, Shamsi is the only one who speaks French on the panel. So she had to answer all the questions. But there's a question that was posed by Maitre Hilary that was in Kinyarwanda that I think Pearl will try to answer on how we can protect our children from accessing things that they should not be accessing using technological tools.
Thank you so much. So I'm not an expert with children, but I have siblings and I have a child, one. So I think for parents, what we need to do is be on top of our game. We have to learn and see the trends of what our children watch. For example, if you go on YouTube, there are apps that help you to restrict what they watch. So with the trend of what they watch, you can see, if you watch CoComelon, they will add you content that is related to what they are watching. So if you control what they watch, you will know what they are looking at, what they are viewing. So as a parent, that's why we need to actually be ahead of them and get to know what are the apps that can help us restrict what they watch. If it's homework that they need to do, for me what I used to do with my brothers is you tell me what you need and I'll help you to look for it. Maybe do it with you so that you're not left alone. Though that now kids are smart. They know all the tricks. They know how to get away with it. So the only thing we can do is just be ahead of them, control what they watch, block, because you have the option on YouTube to block some of the content. And then you also can download, for example, if they use it a lot. Like, I'm talking about YouTube because my child looks at YouTube most of the times. So what I've done is download the videos so that even without internet, they can watch the videos that I've downloaded in downloads. So that's all I can say. Other than that, if they are teenagers, just talk to them so that your friends, you know what they watch, they are free to tell you what they've watched. And actually, if you engage them, they will tell you. Even the things they watched, they will end up talking to you. So, thank you.
James?
Yeah, I would like to come in, just say something small about that, about children. It's common nowadays that because of our busy schedules and work and, lawyers working, making ends meet, the component of talking to children is highly neglected. In my opinion, you can have all types of passwords, 3 paragraphs of passwords, blocking YouTube and everything, but we just need to realize the truth that children like to copy. In fact, sometimes you may tell them, don't do this, I'll put a code. When you leave the room, they are repeating what you said. And they become even much more curious to find out why you don't want them to access that. So, one of the ways, in my opinion, is to begin early communication with children in terms of what to expect as they grow. Be free with them so that you share the experience. I know there are limitations, but minus talking to them, thinking that a miracle will happen, and they will not watch those bad movies, I think no kwibeshya. Sinzi nawe nabivuga mu Kinyarwanda. Ku bwanjye kuri icyo kibazo confrere warubajije, hamwe n'ibyo mugenzi wanjye avuze, harimo ikintu cy'ingenzi cyo gutangira kare, hakiri kare kuganiriza abana bacu. Ushobora kubloka izi channels zose ugashyiramo code 1000, ariko abana bakunda gukopinga. Hahandi ashobora no gusubiramo ibyo bavuze. Ntuzarebe we, ntuzi ko habamo prono. Nugenda aravuga ngo ariko ngo prono ni iki? Atangira kuba curious ashakisha ahubwo kuyimenya icyo ari cyo. So one of the ways, of course, depending on the age, nuko dutangira hakiri kare kuganiriza abana. Of course in their language, abana bagira ururimi rwabo bumvamo. Utadukiriye ngo uvuge ikigambo kiremereye gisenya umwana, ariko akiga what to expect hanze aha ngaha. Naho ubundi rwose you may just be assuming. Igiteleviziyo giteretse hariya washyizemo password, ntacyo biba bimaze ubwabyo, umwana utamubishije mutaganire. That's my opinion. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Murakoze cyane. I now invite the SG of RIB hari nawe ibintu bamubajije. Angel, please, could you give the microphone to SG?
Thank you. Naenda ndashaka gukora comment kuri iki cy'abana. Blocking is not a solution at all. Ahubwo attractinga curiosity yao. Agashaka uburyo blocking the technology ubungu bihari ni nko gutangira amazi. It's very very difficult. No kugendana nayo. Abana iyo wabareze neza bonyine baribwiriza. Iyo umubwira uti biriya bintu bimeze gutya ni ibintu bibi, umwana ntajyaho. Ariko iyo uvuze ngo urabloka, azajya ku muturanyi, azayibona, azajya ku ishuri azayibona, noneho ahubwo abishakira icyo kumenya impamvu bibloka. Ukore kumubwira impamvu atakwiriye kujyayo. Niyo yanajyayo, he or she will not be interested, kubera ko yabonye uburere bwa kirazira bw'ikintu kibi kitamufitiye inyungu. Ubwo nibwo burere. Naho gushaka kukompitinga na technology ntushobora. Ntuziya irimo kugenda. Dushobora muri conflit de generation yaho dushaka ko abana bakura nko twakuze, ariko natwe twakuze batubwira ngo ibyana by'ubu, natwe hari ibyo batuvuga ngo ibyana by'ubu ngo niba tuzabirera gute. So we have to work with. Kubera ko nkuko n'abandi bayibonye ngira ngo abagabo hano ni bakeya, nta nubwo tugeze kuri 10%. So my message ndashaka kuyiha aba majority aha ngaha ya dominatinze. So ndashaka kuvuga role y'abagore muri iyi change dushaka, mind change dushaka. Umwana akura abona uburere yahawe n'umubyeyi w'umugore. Rwose ibyo ni 80%. Abagabo contribution yabo ni bake kubera nyine ukuntu barezwe nabo bajya muri ubwo burere. Ariko n'uburyo Imana baremye mubana n'umwana amezi 9 mukamwonsa mukagira gute, nuvuga ngo mufite chances nyinshi yo guhindura imyumvire, imibereho, imitekerereze y'abana kurusha abagabo. Ariko you be surprised ko hari umubyeyi w'umugore ubyara umwana, niba nakoresha tam y'ikinyarwanda avuga ngo akamutereka kumva afite umugabo mu rugo, and she is very proud yo kumva ko afite umwana w'umuhungu yareze, akamukoresha sport, akagira 6 packs, akagira gute, and she's akumva no muri bagenzi be yakwirata ko afite umwana w'umuhungu. So uwo mwana rero na behavinga uko wamureze, then uzaba warabigize mu ruhare. Nkumva uruhare rwa education umumama arushyizemo imbaraga yo educating abana kimwe. I can assure you ko haba change. Ariko nushaka kumurera kugira ngo competing n'umuturanyi ufite umwana w'umuhungu ukina basket ufite, then uzamurera kwa kundi kutuma n'umwana wazakura zikwa ari. I remember muri maybe a personal experience, ndi umwana muto nge I'm the last born, nkurikirira abakobwa babiri, ariko nashaka kubasuzugura kandi banduta nkabacokoza nzi ko mama ari bumvuganire, yahize agaca inkoni ati murwane bakankubita. Seriously, urumva umwana yakuruta abakuruta kankubita nkiruka nkajya gutabaza ati si wowe watangiye intambara. So ibyo byose bituma umwana akura yumva ko atari special. So numva rero kubera ko wenda message y'abagabo nzayitanga nayo ubutaha mwabatumiye, ariko for now this is what I can contribute. Abagore barera abana, icyo bamushyizemo uko bamugize niko ahinduka. Thank you.
Thank you, SG. I want to thank the panelists for their contribution this evening. Twabakomera amashyi. Thank you so much. And
Thank you so much, panelists. Thank you so much, Florida, for taking us through this. Na chindi na kuongeraho kuri ibi bamaze kuvuga. At this point, I'd like to invite the president of the Rwanda Bar Association to give us the closing remarks.
I want to request that we can give a round of applause again to the panelists. Mine is a closing remarks. It's already almost 6 on Friday. And I want to thank each and everyone for the contribution that has led the conversations, and it's really important that we keep this conversation going. And we, as the bar leadership, have taken note that we should consider men. So, but the message it gives is, we used to be in the room where we would complain that we want women in the room. Now, on an international celebration day of women, they are claiming men. That means we've really achieved a lot. That is what it means. But equality means men and women to be present. So next time we are going to consider this, we take this note, and it's a very important recommendation. The reality is, we do not want a situation where we get to a point where men also start to complain about their rights. Then we will have not achieved the equality. We will actually go into the circles. Ladies and gentlemen, allow me to again thank you all, and we're going to have a photo session before we proceed with the cocktail. I understand the Secretariat have prepared something for you as we celebrate. The celebration is not only about the conference, but it's also about getting time to share a drink, and it's going to be served out there. The ushers are going to show us the way. Thank you very much, and we look forward to have the next edition. But we are also going to increase the sessions where women and men meet and have such a gathering, and we think this is going to contribute in promoting this equality that we all aspire to. Thank you very much.
So please, let's first have a group photo with our guests of honor and the panelists.